consumed. Adrenaline rush, heartbeats race, the thrill of speed taking place. Defend the lead, it's not a chase. Gran Turismo sets the pace. Under moonlit skies we soar. Every pass makes spirits roar. Defending honor never bore.
Welcome to the Nighthawk Racing F1 RST Championship. Firstly, I'm Sarah Hawkey, and you can find myself and the rest of our community here on the Nighthawk Racing YouTube channel. There are various features and playlists for you to watch and enjoy, covering non-championship events, mini-series racing, and our main series of F1 RST with seasons 1 through to 4 with full coverage and commentary available to watch. All races also feature great competitive action alongside community and team racing, leaving many smiles as well as thrills and spills. Please also check out our Instagram and TikTok in the description below, or you can use the QR code across the video that will provide you with the link tree, more content and information for you to have a scan through as well. Before we get into the racing itself, here is an outline of the racing and the championship and what to expect in Season 5. So as you can see on screen at the moment, we have a 10 event calendar featuring red and blue lobby racing, and you can see that we go to many different tracks across the season, all tracks presenting themselves with unique characteristics, so it should be a pretty fun season ahead, and I can't wait to see how all the drivers get on. We're talking about the events itself. There are 2 races per event, with a sprint race which will last approximately 20 minutes and then a feature race at 1 hour to 65 minutes respectively. The grid for the sprint race is ordered in reverse average points scored across the season. Up next is the main feature race, which is supported by a 10-minute qualifying session. Qualifying itself is highly important, as not only does it set the outright grid for the feature race, but competitors have to begin their strategic calls in qualifying, as when the driver sets their fastest lap, the compound of tyre they use for that fastest lap then becomes their mandatory tyre compound for the start of the feature race. So as you can see, strategy is important, especially during qualifying. But here in F1 RST, every session is important and also comes with its own rewards. Both racing events come with increasing points for each position gained, as well as the potential of fastest lap points to be earned for those finishing within the top 10. Qualifying itself also rewards the top 3 positions with a little extra dynamic thought and strategy throughout the event and season. So as you can tell, points make prizes. As a reminder for all, sprint races have completely open strategy calls and tyre choices with a rolling start. But the feature race, on top of the qualifying start tyre compound requirement, has a grid start, and all drivers must use 2 different choices of tyre compounds. So next up on the calendar is Autopolis. It's a track that we have visited previously in previous F1 RST seasons, and it's kind of like Marmite, you either love it or hate it. But here's some track facts before we get into the racing tonight. The track is 2.9 miles or 4.6 kilometers long, has 18 corners. It was first opened in 1990 and it hosts a range of domestic and international motorsport events throughout the year. It was hailed by all who visited it as the future of motor racing. It lacked nothing in either facilities or ambition, even sponsoring the famous Benetton F1 team in a bid to attract attention and a slot on the Grand Prix calendar. Although the track meets a high standard in terms of its facilities, it unfortunately has never hosted a Formula 1 race, but is now owned by Kawasaki. The circuit currently holds events for the Super GT and Super Formula. But the remote location also had an impact on the construction costs, estimated to be an eye-watering $500 million. That's a lot of money. But the track offers many different challenges, such as gravel traps, grass to catch the drivers out, hairpin style corners, and the narrow track width. So it's going to be a challenging one for the drivers tonight. But as the night time falls, will this bring some surprising weather? Let's go and see. Tonight we're at Autopolis for Season 5, Round 7, and we're going to start off by seeing the sprint race starting grid in the blue lobby. And in pole position we have Murph in the Supra, P2 we have Damo in the Porsche 911, then closely followed by Cypher in that Lamborghini Huracan. In P4 we then had T50 Phil in the Ferrari 458, and in P5 we have our very own Ziggy in that Alpha 4C, or C4 as he likes to call it. In P6 we then have Chaos Druid in the Lexus RCF.
Perfect, and then in P7 we have Joe Nisbet in that Ford GT, followed by Iceman in P8 in that Genesis. Then our very own Big Crazy Bertie in the 650S P9, and Super Simon P10. Then in P11 we have Coach, head of Sutu Racing, and then in P12, head of Nighthawk Racing, we have Sarah Hawkey. So we have the head of departments, head of championships at the back of the grid on this one, so that'll be entertaining to watch out for. But with that one, Sarah, that's the sprint grid. This is going to be a tough one to call, I feel. I'm just going to start by saying a couple of drivers there that I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on, particularly, say T50 Phil and Ziggy, right in the middle of the pack there, and a few other drivers to keep an eye out for. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more. I think obviously there's a few sections where the Ford GT of Joe Nisbet could do quite well. Obviously we know it's got quite high top end speed, so I'll be excited to see that overtake a few things. But yeah, apart from that, I think there's a few drivers that could do really well starting this high up in the sprint race, and obviously they've just got to capitalise on any mistakes other drivers make, or maybe go for some daring overtakes. Obviously the chicane here is going to be a distant cousin of the Death Chicken, so I think obviously some drivers are going to have to be quite careful through there, but I think we're in for some good racing, and I think people are going to try and overtake at that point.
I think you're quite right there. I think, yeah, keep an eye on Joe. He's been showing a good turn of form recently, and yeah, I think you're right on the track. It's a tricky one, but let's see what happens. And with that in mind, let's head to the commentary booth and see how the drivers get on.
We are rolling for the sprint race, round 7, blue lobby here at Autopolis. A great racetrack here in the middle of Japan. We are green. Murph leads, Damo, Cypher, and Phil across the line. They're starting to single file out already, heading towards turn 1. Always a very difficult section of track. As we see Damo looking to the inside almost immediately. Murph gives him the room. However, he doesn't take advantage of it. Murph stays ahead in the number 11 Supra. Side by side for third place between Phil and Cypher. Still side by side, heading towards turn 3. Phil's got the inside line. I think that Ferrari's got this one for the time being. Oh, he gets loose. Cypher gets a little piece of him there. And Ziggy's going to take advantage, trying to get to the outside of that Lamborghini MP4. Still very close through the first hairpin here. Still side by side between Ziggy and Cypher. Finally, Ziggy clears him. And Cypher's got his mirrors full of a Lexus, the number 66 of Chaos Druid. Now he's to the outside of the number 4 Lamborghini. The Lambo holds off. Here comes Joe Nisbet to the inside of the Lexus. Side by side, here comes Iceman, making nearly 3 wide. Heading into the second hairpin, it is 3 Druid, Cypher, and Iceman. You got to be real careful here. Coach and Hockey, I think, have contact for 9th place, but otherwise all is straight. Pedro, anything caught your eye so far?
Yeah, this has been a hectic start, but a good one. And Ziggy has even moved up to P3. That was a brilliant start from him.
That Alfa Romeo 4C already shining out here on lap 1 of 11. Damo, meanwhile, he's fallen down to 4th, and he's got Druid behind him. Cypher trying to make a move on Druid.
Ooh.
Oh, someone's around!
That's Phil.
Yep, the 44 Ferrari has gone around. Did you see if he had contact there?
I'll ask the trackside reporters, but I think it must have been. Yeah, he just went on the throttle too early, lost control of the car, and then just the back end spun. There was no way he could have caught that, unfortunately.
Well, after 1 lap, it's gone hectic. It's even more hectic. They're 3, nearly 4 wide into turn 1 once again. What a move by Cypher to get around Druid. Iceman's in the crowds trying to take evasive action. Now he's gone Coach alongside him for 6th place. Oh man, this is getting hectic. Here comes Druid again, nearly mounting a charge on Cypher. Nothing working there. And it's nearly 3 wide and off goes the 5 Supra in the wall. The number 5 Supra caught the wall after contact with Iceman. I think he's going to wait up for him, possibly. No, I'm not sure if Iceman's going to be waiting here. I'm not even sure if he realizes. Oh, there goes Sarah Hockey in the grass. She caught the grass on entry of the corner there, and so easy to do around here is catch the grass and go around. Hopefully now it's calmed down at least a little bit. We see Birdie has moved up to P6 in that number 81 McLaren. Nice job by him so far. Iceman at 7th, trying to hold off Joe Nisbet. The closest battle right now, though, is between Druid and Cypher. That said, though, we have one starting to brew between the number 11 and Murph, who has led from the flag so far, and Ziggy, as we see that number 11 get a little loosey-goosey there. But I must say, Ziggy's Alfa Romeo is loving this track, Pedro.
Yeah, it really is. This car is really good around these tighter corners, has really good traction out of the corners as well, so it really favors this kind of track. And also the driving style that Ziggy always tries to aim to use around a track like this, it certainly gives him an advantage. And he's flying at the moment. He even got the fastest lap in the meantime.
Yep, and while you were talking about Ziggy there, both the 85 and the 5, Iceman and Coach respectively, they took the gravel out of turn 1 and into turn 2. No damage done to both those cars though, but they're currently sitting at 8th and 9th right now. Back up front, Ziggy in that number 873 Alfa Romeo, getting closer and closer, getting closer and closer. I imagine within the next lap, he's going to be mounting a charge on that Supra.
And I think we've also missed Bertie. Oh, sorry to interrupt, but I think we've also missed Bertie moving up to P5. Now there's this group as well forming between DJ and Bertie and Chaos Druid.
Yep, you are right about that. Birdie is hungry for that 4th place, but Cypher, that number 4 Lamborghini, has done a good job keeping mostly everyone at bay. That's I can't remember if Damo got by him or not, but that Lambo, much like the 4C, seems to be really good around here. It seems like, oh, commentator's curse, he nearly went off.
No.
He lost the position, but he kept it on the road, so I guess it could be worse. It could obviously be better, but it definitely could have been worse. But now, Cypher's now going to have to fend off Chaos Druid and the number 66 again. Tell you what, that Lexus is not the easiest thing to keep back once he's on your back bumper.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It does seem like this car is it's quite good around here. I've tested it a few times, and I like the feel of it, but yeah, it can become a bit tricky at times, especially considering. Oh, I see Coach going off the track there for a moment.
Yep, he kept it straight though, thankfully, but that he did lose more time to the group in front and to Iceman, who is now bearing down on him again. Real quick, might want to give a shout out to Joe Nisbet for the time being, because he's gone the fastest lap from Ziggy in that 4GT. I've never imagined that 4GT being this fast around a track like this, seeing how it's done in the earlier parts of the season. But he is doing his best, hanging on to this group here that is from 4th on back to him in 7th. And he's just biding his time, waiting for something to happen.
Absolutely, the 4GT has definitely been a wild card, but Joe has been quite impressive on it. I think he's having a really solid season so far, making the most out of that 4GT. It really seems to suit his driving style.
Yep, he used it to his advantage at High Speed Ring earlier in the season, won there. And it's usually not the easiest thing in the world to follow around here. This whole group's been doing really well, and I'm surprised. I figured Ziggy would have mounted a charge on Murph by now, but he's just not gone to that point yet. He's sniffing the back bumper. He's sniffing exhaust fumes from that Supra. Now he's finally going to be able to mount a charge. He's on the outside of Murph, going down the pit straightaway into the first turn. Ziggy's got him on straight line speed, but Murph has the preferred line into the corner, side by side. Murph lets him have it. Ziggy is now your new race leader.
Yeah, nicely held from Ziggy, and great on the brakes as well. For that turn 1, that can be a bit tricky. If you just miss your braking point by a little bit, it can be quite costly, but Ziggy managed to hold it around the outside very well, and pretty good on the brakes.
And while that's all happening, Damo and Birdie have caught up to this group. Damo running in third. He's got the 81 McLaren of Birdie right on his diffuser. Birdie once again showing how good he could be in that 650S. It's been his car for at least the last 2 seasons. And he's keeping pace. He's making Damo think here about where he wants to place that Porsche. Something about Birdie, he's very patient when he tries going for an overtake like this. And usually he waits for the opportunity to strike. It takes a bit, but once he doesn't think twice about it.
Absolutely, yeah. His racecraft is quite good in that sense, I'd say. He's always intelligent, looking, as you said, for the opportunity to show up and then attack, go for the position in a way that takes the less risks for him and for the cars around him. And I think he might be trying... Ooh, I thought he was going to try to go around the outside, around this corner.
I don't know if it's going to be the outside, but he tried getting a better run, was what he was doing, because he saw the line Damo took, knew his exit speed wasn't going to be as good. He's now moved to the inside of that number 39 Porsche, side by side. Damo gives him room. Going into turn 1, a very flat 90-degree corner. He makes it stick, but I winced because I thought DJ was going to run out of brake there. And he could have run into the back of Damo there. Good job by him not to do that. But now, what we were following earlier as the battle for third's become a battle for second now, as Murph's been caught up very quickly by that number 81 McLaren.
Yeah, and as I was about to say as well, Murph might be starting to struggle soon because his tire wear seems to be considerably higher than the cars around him.
Yeah, but I wonder if that has to do with the car he is using being front-engined. He's the only front-engine car in the top 5. Of course, the Supra is usually one of the better ones in this category. But all the way in the front's probably not doing him any favors, as I'm starting to see the cloud cover pick up here.
Yeah, I was wondering that. It does look like it might rain soon.
It's hard to tell if it is going to rain, because it doesn't look like the clouds are dark enough for that yet. We'd have to look out for the windshield wipers and the rain lights to come on before we could make that assessment. Chaos Druid in 6th while this is all happening. He's got Coach in the number 5 Super right behind him. We've discussed this time and time again this season. Coach is one of the hardest guys to keep back. He's even giving him a nudge. He hasn't quite bump and run him yet, but I have a feeling that number 5 Supra ain't going to be sitting behind that Lexus much longer. He's right on his diffuser, right on the bumper, looking left. Druid moves as much as he can without crashing each other. Side by side, heading into turn 1. A little bit of a door bang. Coach, I think's got the move done.
Ooh.
Almost. There's a little bit of contact. They're still side by side going through turn 2. And now look at this. Joe Nesbitt's making it 3 wide in the number 8.
Oof.
Side by side into the to turn 3 this is. Still side by side. How on earth are you able to hold on this long? Now into the first hairpin. Druid sends it on him. He got the move, but Coach is... Oh, no! Coach just threw him off. When you race that hard, you kind of expect something to go wrong. Sadly for the number 66, it has. Oh, yeah, boy.
That was... I was really scared that they were going to go 3 wide throughout that entire section. But yeah, unfortunately, as you said, Druid caught the end of that and ended up going off the track. That was a really good battle nonetheless. And I think in the meantime, Bertie, Damo, and Cypher have all overtaken Murph.
Yeah, I did see that while following Coach, Murph did catch the gravel out of turn 1, and that lost him all those spots. And yeah, coming to 4 to go, those tires are definitely worn down, and he's definitely feeling it. The front tires are halfway worn on that Supra, and I can't imagine that's going to be a fun experience.
Yeah, I think he'd even be hoping for it to rain at this point because... Oh, I think he's going into the pits now.
Yeah, he is coming to the pits. Gotta be careful not to hit the wall there. The rain lights just came on. The wipers are on. It is raining.
Oh.
There's no accumulated water on the track just yet, but the water is here. Well, that shakes things up, doesn't it?
Oh, definitely, yeah. And Phil and Sarah also follow him into the pits. I mean, in these conditions... And Simon as well, yeah. In these conditions...
Oh, it's coming down now.
Oh, wow. I think they actually... The rain couldn't have come at a better time for them. Because, yeah, if you go into the pits at the wrong time, you can really just compromise your entire race. And I think they opted to go into the pits at the right time.
Watching right now as the rain continues to come down. Druid and Iceman for 7th. Iceman tried to find a lane that's nearly not there. 66 of Druid defending super hard there. Coach has gone by Joe Nesbitt again for 5th place. Going into the second hairpin. One of my favorite corners around this place. Druid hangs on for 7th. Up front. In 4th place, Cypher holding off Coach and Nesbitt. Boy, this is going to be interesting to see because the wipers are done for most part on these cars, so maybe the rain's done. Maybe that was just a little bit of a pop-up shower.
Maybe it has, and it does seem like the water that's on track is still enough so that the people on dry tires can keep going without any issues. Well, that was quite the curveball.
Someone's gone around. It is Murph. He's crashed on the intermediate tire. He's bashed the right front in on that car. So that might have... I'm seeing the skies clear up now, so that might have not been the move as I see panning through the field again. Coach gets a little bit of the gravel there out of turn 1 again. Clearly not his favorite place today. But Damo's got his mirrors full of 3 hungry race cars behind him for that final podium spot. The 5 looking at the inside of the 8 side by side, heading into 100R. The battle for 5th ensues. The 8 and the 5. The 8 has slightly worse tires than the 5. But he holds on to the position. Meanwhile, Damo's got Cypher for company once again. Cypher might be trying to bait him. He might be trying the crossover here, but Damo holds the line. A little bit of contact there between the 5 and the 8. But so far, still keeping things clean. That's always good to see. You can race hard, but you don't want to send somebody into the grass.
Yeah, and that was a brave move from Coach, and it definitely paid off. Great on the brakes, trying to go later than Joe, and he managed to make it stick without causing any contact. That was very good from Coach.
And this battle for 3rd is still ongoing. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. As Cypher nearly gets into the back of Damo, Coach is going to take advantage of it. Try diving up the inside of that Lamborghini, side by side through the final corner. There's a little bit of a door bang, side by side. Coach still hangs on to it, but he's lost all of his momentum, and now here comes Nesbitt. Cypher with the hazards. I think he's trying to apologize to Coach there. As we see Coach now try and dive to the inside of Nesbitt once more into turn 1. He gets the move done. But you know something, the more these guys fight, the better this gets for Damo, who's sitting pretty in P3.
Absolutely, and with his tires being in a bit of a worse shape than the cars behind, he'd really like to get some sort of a buffer, especially at this stage of the race.
Coach right on the back of the number 4 Lamborghini once again. No, there he goes! He hit the wall, no damage though, but he's lost the spot to Joe Nesbitt once more. And that effectively brings him out of the podium hunt. Man.
Wow, that was... Yeah, I think unless the cars in front start battling again, I think, as you said, it might be his hopes of getting the podium over, unfortunately. Colcha has been a bit unlucky in this race with all of these situations, but hopefully can still get into the back of that pack.
Damo still holding on. His tires are looking pretty secondhand, especially in the left front. This track being a clockwise track, you're going to be putting all the weight on that left front. But you know something, I'm not sure if Cypher's gonna be able to mount a charge just yet, as Ziggy crosses the line with 1 to go. I've been paying attention a little bit to that battle. Birdie's making a little bit of ground, but I don't think he's making up enough to really pressure Ziggy at the moment. Whoa!
Ziggy! He's off!
No! Commentator's curse strikes again! And now Birdie takes the lead in this race. I shouldn't have mentioned it!
Oh, Dejan is also out at turn 1.
No! Oh, what power have I wrought onto this field? I've talked about 2 guys, and now they both go off into the gravel in turn 1. Oh, you gotta be kidding me!
There's no way, what's going on?
What is happening? There's no water on the track, and everyone's finding problems in between turns 1 and 2. It's unbelievable. So now, in all of this mess, Birdie's taking the lead, Ziggy's in second, Damo trying to hold off Joe Nisbet for that final podium spot. These two have a little bit of a history. Druid's moved up to 5th, Cypher now in 6th, Iceman 7th, Coach in 8th. My god! And look at this, Nisbet now trying to look at a move on Damo. Damo had a really bad second hairpin there. But the Ford GT is equally bad on its tires compared to Damo's Porsche for the time being. Going down the hill. He's trying, there's contact! There's contact! He keeps it straight though, they both keep it going. A little bit opportunistic from Nisbet. He's still gonna look for any opportunity he can find. He's trying to set Damo up for a crossover here. He's gonna try it one more. He's trying to bait him out. And as we see, focusing on Birdie, he's going to win the sprint race ahead of Ziggy, who finishes second. Meanwhile, Damo's still holding off that number 8 Ford GT. He's gonna hold him off all the way to the line. Damo with 3rd place, ahead of Joe Nesbitt. Chaos Druid in 5th place in that number 66 Lexus. Cypher 6th, Iceman 7th. Coach, he's got his hazards on. He's just trying right now to get that car back to the line. He'll finish P8. Looks like Phil will be coming home P9, barring any more incidents, and then number 4 for Ferrari. He's ahead of Sarah Hockey in the number 9 Lamborghini. Oh man, those intermediate tires do not look good on those 2 cars whatsoever. And there's Phil crossing the line in 9th. Sarah's coming through the final corner now, flat left front tire. She'll come home P10. Murph's going to be coming home P11. He switched to the softs, so he pitted again, and it's better than staying out of the inners like the other guys. And as Murph crosses the line to the number 11, Simon stayed out on the inners. He will come home P12 on the road. Boy, oh boy, what a sprint that was.
Wow, that was action-packed as always, and especially in that final lap. Wow. What was even going on there? Just had everything being thrown at these drivers. We had, a bit of rain, even though it wasn't much to impact the, unfortunately, for those who have pitted, the change to the intermediate tires. We've had so many battles across the field, so many off-track excursions. I mean, wow. I'm lost for words.
Yeah, that absolutely chaotic. We're used to seeing chaos here at Autopolis in the Super GT. Not quite in pure GT3 racing. How the I haven't seen anything yet. Have the stewards made any decisions out there, Pedro?
I was actually just having a look at it, and it does seem like we've had a slight change on the final results, as Druid got a time penalty that puts him behind DGen.
That's unfortunate for him in that 66 Lexus. He was running pretty solidly. On the road, he came home P5, taking advantage of the mistakes ahead. But, fortunately, just wasn't to be for that top 5, but he's got plenty of time to regather himself and get himself ready for the feature. Because I hear that one's going to be very soggy.
And here we are with the Red Lobby Sprint Race, Season 5, Round 7. So, here we go. Taking pole position for the rolling start will be Sophie in that R8. In P2, we have Nigel Mansnail in the 458. Giles in P3 in the Huracan. P4, we have Kirk in the Genesis X. Then P5, in a one-off livery, we have Pedro in that other Huracan. Then P6, we have McManley in the next 458. In P7, in the GTR, we have Mercedes X50.
And then in P8, we then have Charlie in the BMW. Closely followed by Midnight in P9 in the McLaren 650S. And keeping him company in P10, we then have Fodder in the Porsche 911. And we then have our Season 4 champion Dark Lord in the McLaren 650S starting in P11. Closely followed by our Season 3 champion, KD the Car in P12 in the GTR. And then rounding off the sprint race grid here for round 7, we have a Sophia in the Mercedes AMG in P13.
Well, that's a very interesting grid for this sprint race, and we all know Autopolis can throw up a few interesting scenarios to have a little play with, particularly if weather might come into the equation and or sheer tyre wear and anything else that can be mentioned there. But, Sarah, it's going to be an interesting one for the sprint race. There's a couple of drivers in there that can really sort of get a shifty on and get off down the track before the likes of, say, Darklord or Kai threaten the front, such as Pedro, McManley and Mercedes, and Charlie as well. So it's going to be an entertaining one, I feel.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Obviously, Autopolis, it presents some difficult corners and some challenges to overcome, so I'll be eager to kind of see the top end of the sprint, grid get away nice and cleanly, but also, that we've got Season 4 and 3 champion very close to each other, and we all know how those two race, so I think between those two, they're ones to keep our eyes on. But apart from that, it could be quite a good result. Quite a good race for some of the people here, is what I meant to say.
Right, with you there. And you've got Sophia in the mix at the back there as well, serving a penalty, but she's not going to try and stay there for very long, so well, let's see what happens, I feel. But with that in mind, let's get off to the race and see what happens.
The cars are rolling. Round 7, Red Lobby Sprint Race. UST Sophie leads the way in her Audi R8. Ahead of Nigel Mansnail with a new name, and Giles. We are green in Autopolis. Everyone trying to single file, get all the way out. Or we'll get all the way to Sophie's draft. A little bit of weaving going on between ladies. That might be a little bit of an inquiry. Giles sends one on Nigel in place. Lamborghini shoves the Ferrari off into the gravel. Nigel loses at least 4 positions here. Oh, that is a tough break for Nigel already as we go into 3. Everyone's mostly single file. Mercedes, the only one on the hard tire, got a little sideways there. Midnight looking to the inside of that number 50 GTR. Still not confusing at all. Oh, he got a big tank slapper on. It's nearly 3 wide. 5 takes 7th place away from Midnight. And it's a whole gaggle in the back half of the field. Meanwhile, Pedro and Mac side by side for 4th place. The Ferrari and Lamborghini having at it going into the second hairpin. Mac is trying to put the squeeze on Pedro, and he's mostly got it done. He has got the move done. Mac up to 4th, and Sarah, it looks like it's kind of calmed down now, huh?
Yeah, what a hectic start to the race that was. I can only imagine that Mercedes was weaving because he's the only one on hard tyres, but it did look quite funny to start off with, and I'm sure it kind of shocked the people behind him.
And it looks like it got worse for Nigel. He's got rear end damage, and it's all the way down in 13th. So someone might have. Well, it doesn't look like anyone has any front end damage, but not a start to the weekend. Nigel was looking for that 55 Ferrari.
No, I think he had a little bit of an excursion onto the grass by himself, but it's the first lap. I'm sure obviously he'll warm up, maybe come in to repair that damage and then go again. Maybe use the sprint race as a little bit of practice, and hopefully, he'll finish the race strong and go into the feature race with a bit more confidence.
Sophie's still leading by a comfortable margin over Giles, Kirk, Manley, and Pedro. All single file from here, at least for the time being. I'm sure that's not going to last too much long. I say
Not
that
with these red
as...
lobby drivers.
No, these guys are the quickest of the quick, and the ruthlessest of the ruthless. Ruthless. That's not a word, but I'm making it up. As we see Kai moving to the inside of fellow Mercedes, the 181 Season 3 champion is out in front in 11th. So he's got that move done. Oh, I missed it. Dark Lord's gone off. He's gone off in 100R, no damage. But the defending champion now is in 12th. Well, we're saying Nigel could use this as a practice. We might see Dark Lord joining him in that. Because that McLaren doesn't particularly look too happy right now.
No, and I won't spoil anything for the blue lobby, but I might have done something very similar there. But the least said about that, the better. But it looks like it's heating up in the mid-pack a little bit between...
Oh, someone's gone off a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's Charlie in the number 6 BMW. He's lost quite a few spots now. He was on the fringe of the top 5. Now he's down to 9th behind MMR Sophie and the 420 Mercedes. Tell you what, that M6 has not been the kindest car to Charlie. And you speak from personal experience, probably. It really does make you earn whatever you get out of it.
Oh, 100%. I think my only good round really in it, from what I can remember, was Road Atlanta. Oh, Midnight!
Oh, Midnight! That's a big spin into turn 1. I think he just caught the grass on entry, and it was enough to loop him around. So
I think he'll be dizzy after that one.
Yeah, I imagine. Thankfully, he keeps it in a straight line, but he falls down to 11th. But we were saying about the M6, it's a car that's very difficult to get a grip on, and it's very hard to get it to where you want it to be.
Yeah, although he has had a good couple of results this season in it. The one that springs to mind, I think, is High Speed Ring and Yamagiwa. I could be wrong, but he has had kind of those standout performances in it. So maybe it's just track dependent, that car, with his driving style. As it looks like Kirk has gone off at the hairpin as well. That's going to drop him quite a few positions here.
Yeah, he was trying to take the outside line of McManley, trying to outbrake him. Unfortunately, he outbraked himself into there and falls down to 9th. So a lot of guys making early mistakes here. I guess you'd rather get them out now than in the 35-lap feature. But you don't want to make a mistake around these guys, because everyone here is going to capitalize on it.
Yeah, everyone's up for grabbing as many positions as they can. As it looks like Kirk went a little bit wide again there, and Mercedes is trying to go on the outside. Obviously, Mercedes is the only driver on the hard, so he's got a little bit of a more difficult challenge on his hands to make up positions here. But it looks like our championship leader at the moment, Katie Dekai, has made himself into P8, and he's looking like he's going to chase Charlie here for that P7, potentially before turn 1. Or it could be... Oh, no, yep, he's going to the outside, Charlie going to the inside. Who's going to break latest out of the two? It looks like quite evenly matched between the two. Kai trying to swing it on the outside. Charlie being very defensive there. But good move from Charlie, just capping off that apex and not allowing Kai through. But Kai, on this corner here, he's gone the more attacking line on the inside and gets that move done on Charlie.
Not bad stuff by the Season 3 champion. Katie the Kai, the points leader in the Forged Carbon GTR. Kind of made that an icon himself. He started towards the back of the sprint, obviously being the points leader, but he's made up a good bit of ground already after 3 laps. Someone else who's also made up some ground is the number 77 Lamborghini of Pedro. And he just set a fast sector.
Livery as well. Is our Pedro in that Lamborghini.
Very nice livery, I might add. A little different from what he's been running this season. But I tell you what, it does look good sitting there in P3 ahead of McManley, who's gone back to the yellow Ferrari. He was running a carbon fiber Ferrari for the first half of this. Hadn't had a whole lot of luck in it, and he's gone back to the yellow, hoping that might change his fortunes around a little bit. So far, it's doing pretty well for him.
Yeah, and we can definitely spot him from a mile away as well in that very bright yellow Ferrari.
He's just sitting content right now behind Pedro, looking for an opportunity to make something happen. Meanwhile, Sophia, in the number 4 Mercedes, has Katie the Kai, company for 6th place. So that GTR continues up the grid. I tell you what, I think in the next couple corners we might see Katie the Kai mount a charge on that Mercedes-Benz.
It wouldn't surprise me. Katie the Kai is usually quite calculated in his overtaking, so he's probably already eyeing up a gap here and there to try and overtake Sophia. I was just watching Mercedes. Mercedes unfortunately has dropped to quite a few positions. He was on the back of Kirk a lap or so ago, but the 2 McLarens of Midnight and Dark Lord managing to get past him. Those hard tyres I just don't think are suiting that GTR around here very well.
No, especially not when everyone else is on the medium tyre. It's very hard to make up any ground when you're at a tire disadvantage to literally every other car on track. So, but you know what? Some catch your eye there?
Yeah, both Katie the Kai and Charlie going off onto the grass a little bit. Katie the Kai picking up half a second penalty, so that won't do him any favours in trying to overtake Sophia in the next lap or so.
No, and he can't even take that penalty right now because he was too close to the penalty zone, which is down the hill here. So he's gonna have to serve that next lap. So I guess right now his goal for this lap is just get as far away from that BMW as possible. But now I imagine since Charlie now sees that half second, might make it a lot hard on Katie the Guy to either pressure the GTR to another mistake or try getting the position before he even needs to serve the penalty. Battle for third continues. Pedro and Max side by side into turn. Mac down the inside. There's a little bit of contact. He holds on to it though. No position change. Mac thought better of it. That starts opening the door for Fada in the Porsche to get a little closer. Maybe get something going here.
Yeah,
Fada's had a pretty...
come in as the silent assassin. If those 2 in front of him make a mistake, he'll definitely be quick to whip up those 2 positions.
Yeah, I was about to say, he's had a very quiet race so far today. It's kind of... Sometimes that's all you need, is just a little quiet race. All he needs to do right now is just to have some good points races. He's fighting for that championship title within that top 3. He's just got to keep his nose clean, not get into any trouble. Tell you what,
Talking
Sarah.
about trouble, do you reckon Katie the Kai is going to lose that P7 to Charlie?
He might. I don't think he's built the gap he needed to. But, let's see here. Does Charlie have enough room? No, I don't think so. Katie the Guy keeps his spot. I was just about to say, is it me or is the cloud cover getting a little heavier?
It is indeed. It's starting to look a little bit overcast here. Is that potentially some maybe some interesting weather on its way, or is maybe the clouds just the sun wanted to go away? It's turned into a little bit more of a cloudy day, but I don't think that's dampening any of the driver's spirits so far, as we see Pedro still holding on to that P3 position for now, and the fodder seems to have dropped back from those 2 a little bit in that last sector.
Yeah, he's probably didn't have as good of a sector there. tires max. But as you said, he's probably just waiting for an opportunity to arise between these two. You know something? These two are getting a little closer and closer each time to Giles in the number 99 Lamborghini.
Well, we've got double overtake on Kirk here. We've got the Dark Lord and Midnight both going on the inside of Kirk into turn 1. Although Midnight's not fully got that move done just yet. He is on the inside. Has Kirk seen him?
Oh, no!
Oh!
He was too wrapped up in defending the position for Midnight. He forgot there was still another car ahead of him.
He did. He slightly outbroke himself, but he does let Midnight through. I think that's obviously the best decision that he could have made. Obviously, I think the stewards might have a little bit of words, but I think they'll, maybe treat him a little bit lightly because he did let Midnight through after that little bit of a mistake. But yeah, very, very close to hitting Dark Lord into the grass as Kirk goes onto the grass.
Kirk just went through the grass there. And I'm just catching back up to this group here for 6th place. That's Sophia, Kai, and Charlie. 6th through 8th. They've been pretty close the last few laps. I'm a little surprised Katie the Kai's not been able to find a way past Sophia, but then again, it is Sophia. She's one of the hardest drivers to get through.
Although saying that, she does go a little bit wide into this complex here, which does allow Katie the Kai to get a little bit closer, which might help him on the start-finish straight coming up.
Ooh.
But
we've missed something here.
Yeah.
The rain's coming down. Mercedes is on the intermediate tire. And look at this, Sophia, the leader is in. So we might be seeing something similar to what we saw in the blue lobby.
Potentially. Or will we see some of the drivers braving it out as Dark Lord... Oh, Dark Lord! I thought, he was jinxing Midnight into maybe a pit stop there. Or maybe he didn't realise the pits were coming up as quickly. He pulled all the way to the left and then back out again. Midnight going for the inside line here. The two dad bod racers going through. Midnight on the outside on the curb. Dark Lord on the outside. The two going side by side. A little bit of door banging. Louis going, give me some room here, mate. But the two going side by side into the next corner. Midnight late on the brakes. Although he's going straight on, he's not turning.
Bonna's gone off. He's in the gravel in the first turn. Or first half, excuse me. He's gone off. That's like Katie the Kai. But the yellow flags are still out. Manley is spun. From 3rd place, he has spun. Charlie almost spun around. Someone else has spun. Midnight spun, and he's got damage. And he spun again for good measure. The leader's around! It's Giles in the wall hard! Everyone is having difficulties trying to figure out this raid. Midnight can't get that car rolling. Pedro's taking the lead in this race. McManley and Giles side by side. Katie the Kai is... Oh, there goes Giles! He can't see it! Round the nose of the one...
Oh... Free wide, but unfortunately, Giles obviously going around there. It looked like
Max going off. He's aquaplane straight into the grass. Oh, Kai's around. No damage on that car, but he's going around. It is a race to the pit lane. Pedro's in. So this has served Mercedes quite nicely because now everyone's got to come in last 3 laps because the weather is just too much for the dries. And we're seeing all these guys struggle right now. Sophia around Fonda, but a contact tries threading the needle. Her back holds onto it. That might be a steward's inquiry. But she is.
But Sophie has timed that pit stop perfectly. She's just kind of like cutting through the pack like butter. She's not wasting any time. She's getting past them all of the other guys going very, very slowly but not wanting to pit. I think we could see a repeat here of people trying to brave it out until the weather passes, but Sophie, currently on those wet tyres, she is going a lot faster than the cars around her. She's already caught up to Pedro, but obviously Sophia, we've seen her before stay on the dry tyres in very wet conditions. Sometimes it pays off in her favours, sometimes not, but it does look like it's already stopped raining here.
Yep, the sky is clearing, much like the blue lobby. So anyone on the intermediate tire might be at a disadvantage at the end of this race. And that places ahead to Pedro.
We should rename this Autopolis to just, straight up confusion. Because 1 minute it's wet, 1 minute it's dry.
Oh, Pedro!
Well held, though, by Pedro there. He would have lost quite a few time and position to the drivers around him if he went on the grass there. But it looks like he's held on to it. He's got quite a gap on McManley at the moment. And I think Sophie there, outbraking herself a little bit.
Yeah, that's let Pedro back in. It's getting close now. We're coming to 2 to go here this time. Pedro, it's still a little wet out there, so he's taking a bit of care not to spin that Lamborghini out. I don't exactly blame him. I find it very interesting Sophie went on the full wet tire versus everyone else who did pit for wet weather tire. They changed for the intermediate. And I can already tell that's not helping her whatsoever, because those tires are burning at a rapid rate. And on top of that, she's not going to have any grip in that Audi.
No, it's going to be a difficult turn 1 for her coming very shortly onto lap number 10. So obviously penultimate lap, like you say, those tyres are going to burn through quite quickly. But I don't know about you, but it looks like it's almost a summer's day again now. So all the drivers on the dry tyres, they've done their hard work in getting through the weather, and it's going to go back into their favour as Pedro tries to have a look into a little bit of a gap there. Thinks better of it. The curve's obviously still quite wet. You can see the spray coming off of Sophie just in front. He's eyeing up a move here.
Sophie put her car in the right spot to prevent Pedro from getting any advantage of that exit speed. But the problem now is, like, after a while, those tires are going to burn up on her car. And just like right now, Pedro's going to find a way to make something happen. Here comes Pedro. Here comes McManley. McManley on the back of the Audi. I don't think he knows which side to pull for here. Either the guy on the dry tires or the person he's racing. Going through 100R, Mac. Oh, I don't know if that was a bump and run there, but Sophie's off.
Yeah, I think Sophie couldn't quite get the traction through that corner with those wet tyres. It looks Katie Lekai going on the grass a little bit there in this fight with Kirk. But I don't know about you, but it's really helped Mercedes out, that little pit stop, although it might hinder him a little bit coming up in the next lap or so, as Giles looks like he's going into the inside, going for an overtake on Mercedes. And yeah, quite a hectic race.
Yeah, we're only in the sprint. We're not even done with the sprint yet, because we've got a absolutely thrilling battle in the works here for the 2 podium spots behind Sophia. And even then, they might catch Sophia, depending on how bad her tires are. Because we got Pedro in second, Mac in third, Ada in fourth. They're all 3 of them just about bumper to bumper to bumper. We're going to see an absolutely brilliant battle between these 3 in the last lap here.
Oh, Giles wants a part of the action here between Sophie and Katie Lekai. Oh, forcing Katie Lekai onto the grass.
Oh, there goes Giles! Well, you get impatient, sometimes that's what happens.
Yeah, and Dark
as we see Mercedes come in. Mercedes is he scored as the leader, what? Either timing and scoring is having a laugh, which it is, it's just directed itself back.
Katie Lekai. He's into the gravel.
The track's still not 100% dry, so it's kind of easy to do there. Also, we've lost Max somewhere. We've lost him due to disconnect, I think.
Yeah, and I think that kind of threw off the timing as well, where we briefly saw Mercedes in in pole position. Unfortunately, not in the sprint race, but you never know. He could do it for the feature race. I believe in Mercedes, but yeah, unfortunately, we lost Mac there. A bit of a technical difficulty, which is it's a shame. He was doing really, really well in that race.
Yeah, it was set up to be a great battle for the podium. Well, now the podium's pretty much locked up between these 3 cars. Sophia, Pedro, and Fada. Which order, though, is the question, because Sophia's actually putting a decent pace on those intermediate tires still versus Pedro. But it's closing in pretty quick here. Through the final 2 corners here. The carousel. Sophia in the 420 Mercedes. She always loves these changeable conditions. She's going to go through the final corner. And she's going to hold on to win the sprint race. And Autopolis ahead of Pedro and Fada. Round 7 in the red lobby. Dark Lord, with a nice recovery, finishes 4th place at the number 6 McLaren. Please don't wreck it, Dark Lord. 5th place will be Kirk. 6th place is Giles. 7th place is Midnight. Good recovery. Midnight as well. Sophie, what could have been? 8th place for her. Nigel in 9th. Good recovery from him after his lap 1 issues. Katie the Kai down in 10th. Charlie down in 11th. And Mercedes comes home P12 on the... Well, can't say I expected that for a sprint race.
Yeah, a bit of a hectic one. I think there's definitely going to be some walk-in wounded cars going back to the pit lane and getting themselves ready for the feature race because, yeah, 1 minute it was dry, next it was wet, then it was dry again. The weather can't make up its mind. It kind of sounds like the UK weather. Never can make its mind up. But little did obviously the drivers think coming to Autopolis that it would be the same as the UK. But I think a lot of drivers there will take, you know, the practice in the sprint race. Maybe potentially, you know, some finishing a little bit lower than what they expected, like the likes of Katie the Kai, Charlie, Mercedes. But I think they'll use that going into the feature race, and hopefully it won't be as predictable as the sprint race was for them.
Speaking of feature race, time to get on to the blue feature race. See how they handle themselves.
So here are the qualifying results, and it's quite an interesting session. We've not seen one for a while, but it was a wet qualifying session, so a few drivers obviously having to test their abilities and to wrestle the car through some of the corners around here. But in pole position we have our very own Ziggy on the intermediates, setting a time of a 1:53 flat, closely followed by Chaos Druid also on the intermediates for 1:53.5. Then P3 we have Cypher on the intermediates as well. You're going to sense a theme here very shortly, but it's 1:53.8 his time. In P4 we have Nisbet on the intermediates of a 1:54.6, closely followed by Murph also on the intermediates with a 1:55.1. Bertie in P6 on the intermediates set at a time of 1:55.5.
And then in P7, the first of the wet tyre runners, Coach with a 1:56.3. Swiftly followed up by our very own Sarah Hawkey on a 1:56.6. Then in P9 we have Iceman on a 1:56.9, with T50 Phil following up behind in P10, Super Simon in P11 and Damo in P12. So Sarah, that was an interesting qualifying session. It had a moment in there where drivers were thinking about what tyres they should be going to. I did hear that a few drivers were thinking about slick set for a short period of time, but it does look like Ziggy nailed it, keeping with those intermediate tyres while the track was drying, and that shows with having such a gap to, say, the second half of the grid in this one, being on the right tyre at the right time really helped him out.
Yeah, obviously the session was only 10 minutes, so obviously some drivers right at the end when the track was drying out potentially thought about going on the slicks, but I don't think we had enough time for the slick tyres and for the track to fully dry out enough for them. But yeah, obviously you can definitely tell those top 6 setting their times on the intermediates, they definitely got the best track conditions out there. And like you say, some people maybe wanted to try on the intermediates but set their times on wets, because it was a bit of a difficult session. The weather definitely caught us out by surprise, and we haven't seen a wet qualifying session for a while now. So it's going to be an interesting, obviously, start to the race as it opens up some tyre choices if it starts dry. So yeah, it sets us up for quite an interesting feature race.
Certainly does, Sarah. And worth mentioning as well, if anyone qualifies on intermediate or wet tyres, they have open tyre choice for the start of the feature race as well. So we might see a really interesting spread of tyre choices for the grid itself. With that in mind, Sarah, I think let's get to the race, see what happens. Let's get this feature race for the Blue Lobby off.
Yeah, let's do it.
$11 cars sitting on the grid for round 7's Blue Lobby feature race. 5 lights. And it's time to bring the action. Ziggy with a good getaway in the 873 Alfa Romeo. Side by side for second. 3 wide back in the midfield. But Ziggy has gone away perfectly in that Alfa Romeo. Cypher into second, 3 wide into turn 3. That usually doesn't go, guys. There goes Murphy to the gravel. Among the casualties was Murph. He's gone himself righted at least. Druid lost a couple spots. Phil up to third ahead of Sarah Hockey, the number 9. Going into turn 3, Birdie trying to hold off Iceman. Damo looking at the 85. Nothing doing there. We're seeing the wipers and the rain lights on. Rain is here already. We did get a little bit of a pop-up shower before the race, and that's why you see a little bit of water down at the start of the race. But now it is starting to rain. But it looks like everyone else has single-filed out for the time being. Actually, I take that back. Simon and Nisbet side by side for 9th place. Nisbet gets the position done. Side by side now for 6th between Birdie and Iceman. The 85 Genesis gets ahead of the McLaren. Nice and smooth. I will break to... Ooh! And I see second place is battling. Phil and Cypher. They were side by side down the hill. Phil gets the better of the Lamborghini. So it's an Italian 1, 2, 3, if you count the manufacturer origins. It's an Alfa Romeo, followed by a Ferrari, followed by a Lamborghini, followed by another Lamborghini. Well, that was a pretty interesting first lap there, Pedro.
Absolutely. Shout out to Phil for moving what was essentially at the back of the grid up to P2.
Nearly up to P1 here at the end of the... Nearly up to P1 here at the end of the first lap here. Ziggy does a good defending the T50 driver. And I tell you what, Phil's been very aggressive today. He's had not quite the greatest of seasons so far. He's going to dive it down the inside of Ziggy. Nice and clean. He gets the move. And we see Iceman in the gravel. In turn 1, he overdid his brakes, and he loses the spot to Druid. He loses the spot to Birdie. Damo, Nisbet. Oh, and it just continues. But he does get the car back going before he gets passed by any more cars.
Unfortunately, easy to happen around turn 1, as I was mentioning in the sprint. Oh my goodness!
Sorry to interrupt, Pedro. Cypher ran right for Ziggy in that first hairpin. He gets the spot. Sarah moves up a spot as well. Ziggy fell 2 positions, and now it's a battle between Huracans for 2nd place between the number 4 and the number 9. I can't even get to what I want to say because these guys keep battling. Going into the 2nd hairpin, Cypher tries to hold on. He parks the bus on the apex. Sarah gives the diffuser a little rub with that number 9's front end. But I was going to say, if you are noticing something missing here, unfortunately, yes, the number 5 Supra of Coach retired after the sprint race. That car got sent home due to an ECU failure. So we are down 1 car in this feature race already before we even got the green flag as Sarah goes off!
Sarah.
Just a little wide. Ziggy gets 3rd place back. Druid up to 4th, side by side with Birdie. She's going to let him have that spot for the time being. You can't just have a quiet moment in Nighthawk, can you?
Oh, you can't. These races are always action-packed, and it's a joy to watch.
Someone's gone around. Murph has gone around. He's got damage to the rear end, so I don't know if he's had contact with another car, or if he's tagged the wall and broke the diffuser on that number 11 Supra, but he's already got damage. And I have to imagine he might be coming in. But you got nothing to lose here. So, no, he stays out for the time being. And Phil holds a commanding lead, each at Cypher.
This is brilliant for Phil, with him being one of the only 2 drivers that started on the soft tires, the other one being Iceman. And he's really wanting to build as big of a gap as possible and hoping that now Ziggy battles with Cypher for P2.
Ooh! Nisbet's got damage to the front end of his car. I think he had contact with Damo. As I said in the sprint, those two have a little bit of a history, dating back to Dragon Trail. But you look at this, Nisbet moving to the inside, now move to the outside, trying to find a way around that 39 in the 2nd hairpin. He's right there, but I think that front end damage is going to be dragging him back a little bit. The front bumper is going to be dragging a little bit. The aerodynamics aren't going to be as good, so he's not going to be having an easy time getting around that Porsche. Ooh, I think Simon's gone into the wall down. He's hit the wall, damaged the front end of that M6. But he is still going. He is keeping it straight. Cycling back to second place here. Cypher's got Ziggy for company for second place. That Alfa Romeo's been sneaky good around here this week. And he's looking to get through that number 4 Lamborghini. I think Cypher got on the brakes a little late there. But he's still in good enough shape to keep this thing going. Also, shout out to Druid in the 66 Lexus. He's currently sitting in 4th right now. Ziggy continuing to hound that number 4 Lamborghini. It's a very tight-knit pack. We got 2 tight-knit packs, Pedro, between these guys. First one, 2nd through 6th, ending in Sarah. And then Nisbet's leading this mini group between himself, Iceman, and Damo.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate that Joe has had that damage on his front end, because I reckon with the way that he's been driving as well, or the way that he did at the sprint, he could have been closer to the pack. And I see Sarah overtaking Bertie for P5.
Yeah, Bertie didn't have a good line through that second hairpin, and he just let her go rather than hampering his race any further. So, bit of a smart play very early in this race. We got 35 laps to run in this race. We've already completed 3 of them. I guess it's probably the smarter decision. Let someone go if you have something like that happen. Wait for the opportunity to get back by them. Cypher's started to build a gap from Ziggy here for second place. Both those cars are pretty even on tire wear for the most part. I think the Lambo's a little worse on its rear tires. But otherwise, pretty solid race from this group here. Not a lot of issues, not a lot of complications since that first lap. And it's been smooth sailing from here. Tell you what though, Bertie is already on the back of that number 9 car. That McLaren is feeling hungry. But of course, you need to get some good lines through this section. It's one of those points where, despite how slow it is, you cannot have a bad line through here, otherwise you set yourself up poorly getting into that second sector here.
As you say, momentum is everything around this section of the track, especially this long left-hander as well.
Back up to second place. Cypher looking at Ziggy. Or Ziggy looking at Cypher, excuse me. Ziggy's trying to get a better exit, but Cypher ain't having it. He keeps ahead in that Lamborghini. So, the clouds haven't gone away, despite the rain having gone away. Wonder if rain's going to be coming back soon, later in the race. Something to think about, especially with most of these guys on the mediums. I think they are anticipating rain sometime in the middle of the race, but you can't exactly be sure when it happens. And Pedro, that's got to be one of the most infuriating things about watching that weather radar. Even in races, when you're expecting the rain to come, you just don't quite know when until it's here.
Yeah, and it's this unpredictability can sometimes be, just quite costly, because sometimes the radar doesn't really show us the full picture, and it's, once again, if you make a wrong decision when it's the transition between those conditions, it can really hamper your race.
Ziggy right on the back of that diffuser again. You just can't have a bad line through here. As mentioned before, you gotta keep up that momentum. And these two have been battling cleanly and fairly this whole race.
But they've been fighting so hard that Druid, Sarah, and Bertie are starting to close in on them.
Yeah, and looking at Druid, those front tires do not look good. Those do not look good at all compared to everyone else around him. He's moving to the inside to defend the line from Sarah. She's going to try the outside. A little bit of door banging in the second hairpin, so the Lexus keeps hold of the position. Lamborghini doesn't go off. Although I'm sure that might get him a one-finger salute. Cypher trying to hold the inside line on Ziggy down the hill. They're still side by side. Good job, you two, not throwing yourselves off the track just yet. Because there's still quite a bit of track left before you can start door bashing.
Wow, they've just been glued to each other since the very beginning of the race. It's so good to see them fighting fairly and respectfully.
Real quick note on Cypher, who's still controlling second place. He's had a sneaky good rookie season so far. He hasn't had any. He hasn't had the glories that say Fada did in his rookie season, but he's been putting together some solid results, getting better and better each race, and that's culminating right here in this second place run.
Yeah, as I was about to add, at Tokyo he got a sprint race win, so... Oh, and Iceman is already in the pits. Wow, those tires look worn.
Oh, you ain't kidding. He was one of the guys on softs you mentioned, and that left front bore the brunt of that Genesis. And no fuel going in that car. That is another soft tire stint. Huh. So I wonder if the pit wall are telling him that rain is coming soon.
I was wondering that if maybe they know something that we don't. Oh.
That's, I believe that's Murphy. No, that's Simon who's gone off into the gravel. He's got damage. Oh, wait, no, he still had damage. He hasn't pitted for that yet. My bad. But, a little further back, Druid's got company again with the number 9 of Sarah Hockey. Going down the hill. Oh, Ziggy cut a little bit of the grass. He's a little lucky he didn't go around there. So I saw that Alfa Romeo's rear end start swinging out.
He's known for being the professional lawnmower for a reason.
And he's had a few excursions this year. But whoa, Sarah had a little bit of a twitch there. There's no
Nicely
weather.
held.
There's no weather on the track. And yet these guys are driving around like the track is slick. Ziggy going through the final corner. He's looking. He's trying to get as much of a slipstream in as he can. Cypher trying to do what he can to break it up, but there's not much you can do at this point, especially when you get into the braking zone for turn 1.
Ooh, they're so close to each other, oh my goodness.
You are breathing in exhaust fumes there from that Lamborghini Huracan.
Oh, watch out, Sarah might go for a move here. She got a better exit out of turn 1.
Yep, she was looking to the outside. Thought better of making the move there, but she's, I think, going to try getting a move somewhere else, as we see at the same time Ziggy and Cypher are having at it again. This time there is a slight bit of contact between the two of them. Nothing major, just a little paint scratch. The black bumper's a little silver now on that Lamborghini. As we see Sarah taking a wide exit out of 100R. That's not going to do her any favors going into that second hairpin, especially when she's trying to get Druid there. Oh, Druid! Oh, good save, but that cost him 2 spots there. But you know what? I'd say it's better to give up that than going into the wall and having to pit.
Oh yeah, and it's so easy to hit the wall if you get a bad exit and the car starts spinning. So nicely held from Druid, although it unfortunately cost him those positions, as you said. And I am seeing his front tires are definitely not in a good state. Those FR cars are really struggling around here for tires, as you unfortunately would expect. Oh, Ziggy!
Ooh, Ziggy caught the grass, and Cypher had contact. Cypher's coming. Ooh, Cypher's coming in.
Oh!
So the number 4 Lamborghini is in. The tires look pretty healthy. So I wonder what he's pitting for.
Surely must have seen a big patch of rain incoming or something, because you definitely wouldn't expect him to pit now.
Well, the problem with that theory is that the rain lights aren't on. So there's no imminent rain. So I don't know, this just seems like a really weird decision to me.
Yeah, and if he goes on inters, it might start burning them. Oh no, he goes for another set of mediums.
Guess he wasn't quite liking the feeling of those
I'm
rear
sorry.
tires.
I still didn't have the information, but it's actually intermediates that he's got on.
Is it?
It is.
Oh, it is!
Rain lights are on now.
Yep, the wipers are on, so he might have timed this a lap early. As we see Simon come in, he's finally going to be fixing his damage, but more importantly, I think he's going to be joining Cypher on the intermediates. But despite the rain lights being on, no massive cell is above the track at this minute.
Yeah, it does seem to be that the rain is quite of low intensity, and well, it's good to try and anticipate what's going to happen. Oh, never
You've
mind.
spoken into existence, here it is! The rain is here! As soon as you were talking about it being low intensity, it started picking up again, and it's back to where we were at the start of the race.
Oh, I thought Phil was going into the pits, but he's actually staying out for another lap.
Yeah, I think he's waiting to see how bad that weather's going to get. His tires are absolutely destroyed right now on that number 44 Ferrari, but he's going to ask those Dunlops to go one more lap. At least I think they're Dunlops. Those might be Goodyears. I can't quite see from here. Oh, those are Goodyears. My mistake to his team for mislabeling his tires. Yeah, I think he's trying to see if it's going to be any bit more intense as the lap goes on. What did you see, Pedro?
Oh, sorry, I just saw him go a little bit sideways through there for the corner. But yeah, as he was going on the main straight, he was definitely pointing his car towards the pit entry, but made a last-minute call to stay out. Let's hope that those tires last until the very end of the lap. So much so that he doesn't have any trouble staying on track for the time being.
Interesting note, Simon's gone onto the full wet tires. So he might be seeing something more than what these guys are seeing. But at the same time, the rain stopped. The rain lights just came off.
It does seem like the rain stopped, and well, might have been the right decision to stay out.
Yeah, and as we see someone's gone around it. Cypher.
Legion.
No.
Oh,
and he's a little more for good measure. That's unfortunate because he got out in traffic when he pitted for the intermediates.
Phil is in the wall.
Oh no! Oh well,
He's
thankfully he's going to be coming in anyway.
Oh,
Phil, no!
Not again.
The bad luck continues for the 44. He pushes the cone onto the track. We're going to need a Marshall to clear that at earliest convenience. Now Phil's coming in, but that allows Ziggy to take the lead of this race. Oh dear, just one lap too many for Phil.
Yes, I was predicting, I was hoping that this wouldn't happen, but apparently his rear left went out just before the end of the lap. And this sector here, where the mechanical grip is everything, and just the grip in general, I guess if you want to say, definitely caused him some trouble.
They're fueling the car right now. They've got 4 fresh Goodyear Eagles on that car. But it really does beg the question of what's next? You got guys on the medium tire that are probably due within the next 5-10 laps, as well as the threat of rain still being around. It's just really hard to gauge where everyone's going to be right now.
Yeah, it's so difficult to make these decisions, especially when they're split-second decisions. When you're trying to predict what the best call will be before the weather comes out, if that's the case, or I mean, just to try and not to compromise your race as much as possible. I mean, I think we might see. Yeah, I was having a look at the tires from this group between Sarah, Bertie, and Druid. And I think Druid might be due to come into the pits either at the end of this lap or the next lap.
Yeah, those Lexus's tires are looking very second-hand right now. And I tell you what, it's not going to feel good if he does any more time on this tire. Because that's the point on the medium tire in the Lexus, speaking from personal experience. where it feels like it's basically going down to the courts. So I can't imagine him staying out any longer. Never mind, he is.
He is.
So that's not going to be a fun lap. Meanwhile, Sarah and Birdie fighting for second place, side by side in the turn. Birdie makes the move stick on the inside. Nice and simply. Good work. As I said earlier, he's very patient to get his moves done. And once he finds that opportunity, he's not going to release it. And yeah, Damo's in on the hard tire.
On the hard tires.
Car. Yeah, no damage on that car, so it is a little bit of something I've noticed with... Whoa!
Druid just tried to make a move on Sarah. I'm sorry to interrupt you there, but they had a bit of contact, but Sarah ultimately managed to go away without any damage. So did Druid, and they kept the positions. But it would have been an audacious move from Druid.
Yeah, and that's something in his rookie year. Something you got to learn is just got to make sure when those tires are gone, you got to make sure you got the car underneath you to still make that happen. Unfortunately, I don't think he realized he didn't have as much car as he wanted to have underneath him. It's one of those things you just got to learn. You have to learn that the hard way, sadly, Pedro, and it's never a fun thing when it finally comes.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that obviously the racecraft is always built on. The more experience you get during the races, and I think it's clearly the case. I think he will improve as the season goes on, in this sense. And I was going to mention this beforehand, but Joe is having a very underrated race. He's already caught up to the cars in front and Druid into the pits.
Yep, so Druid finally comes in, the number 8 Ford GT. He's just been plugging away since he got that front end damage, I believe in a collision with Damo. And despite the damage on the front end probably hampering his performance in his turn in, that Ford GT has been laying down solid lap after solid lap. He was more than a second quicker than Sarah ahead of him that last lap. So I'm willing to bet, barring shenanigans, that number 8 Ford GT might still be a podium threat.
Yeah, could well be in contention for it. As you said, he has been lapping consistently quicker than Sarah throughout a few of these laps. So I guess we will have to see what the next few laps awaits us, because we might be seeing another round of pit stops for a lot of these drivers.
I'm seeing Simon with a little more damage. I think he's had a collision somewhere along the way with the wall on the right front.
Always off track.
Oh. Well, that's not ideal. Yeah, now he's just sitting there. It's a little unusual that he's just stationary. Oh, did we lose him? We did lose him. I think we
lost him, yeah.
Yep, that is a retirement of the 35 car. Well, now we're down 2. As mentioned earlier, Coach wasn't able to make the start of the race, and now we've got our first official DNF of the race. So we are down to 10 cars, and here comes the rain again.
Here comes the rain. And Joe's into the pits.
Now,
he's wasting no time.
Question. What tire is he going to go on? Because it doesn't look like the rain is picking up all that much just yet still. Now, while we don't have access to the weather radars of the booth here, do you bank on the weather getting heavier again, or do you just bite the bullet, take maybe a set of softs, and see what happens?
Ooh, I don't know, because this time it seems like it's going to stay for a bit longer. I think it might get to the point where you actually need to go on wet tires. That water surface indicator is only getting higher and higher as we go.
Let's see what tire he comes out on. He's on the inners. So he's banking on the weather getting worse. We're almost at the 1/3 threshold on that water gauge down there. In which case, if we pass that, which we just did, because it's coming down good now, it's intermediate time, guys.
Yeah, and it's officially a wet race. Well, Joe might have pitted at the best possible time here.
Yeah, because now everyone else ahead of him on the dry tires, they're going to have to struggle
Oh,
and bring their cars
Sarah.
around.
Oh my goodness. She was so close to getting off the track there, but managed to hold on.
Oh, Ziggy's around from the lead.
No! Oh, an Iceman as
Keep
well.
it going, Ziggy. Oh,
Iceman
man,
didn't
everyone's
kill.
spinning. The
Oh my
entire top
goodness.
three's gone around.
Druid.
Phil's in the dirt.
Damo also picked up damage, went off the track.
Druid's around. He's got damage. Iceman's around. It's gotten heavy. No one can get their cars going. Murph's going around.
Oh,
Shades
Ziggy
of
is
the
almost off the
2000.
track.
Shades of the 2001 NASCAR All-Star race. It is raining and everyone's on a dry tire. Ziggy, stand! What are you doing?
No, Ziggy!
What are you doing, Ziggy? No, this is not the play.
It is.
Birdie tried to get his car around.
It is
Desperately
not
tried to
raining
get
at the
that car
moment.
around.
It is not
Yeah,
raining
the
at
rain
the
lights
moment,
are off.
but
Everyone's trying to tough this out.
wow.
Unbelievable. Oh, and someone else has gone around. It's Cypher. He's already got front-end damage. Oh, man. Ziggy's gone around again. He's going to lose the lead. Come on, man.
Oh, he's off the track, so is Bertie.
Birdies.
And Sarah.
Oh, there goes Nesbitt. No, that's not Nesbitt. My mistake. That's Murphy.
Oh, Ziggy, spun again.
No. Oh, Sarah, look out.
Oh,
Oh, thank the powers that be for ghosting. Because that could have been
just in
bad.
time. Wow.
This has turned into a slugfest.
Oh, he's
Except
off again.
everyone's fighting the rain. And this is played into the hands of Joe Nesbitt quite nicely.
Yeah, the
Remember
track-
back at High Speed Ring, when we had changeable conditions in the blue lobby, Joe took advantage of those, and he was able to win the race as Murph just went off ahead of him.
Wow.
How convenient. Iceman's finally in. He's got no damage, which will very much help him out in the long run.
All the other drivers behind have stayed. Oh, Phil is in the wall again.
Oh, no.
They've all stayed out on the dry tires. The track is just not drying out quickly enough. And Damo hit the pit wall at the entry.
Oh, and Sarah's just plowed through all the codes getting into the short course. So she loses a spot to Nesbitt. And now Birdie, he's got problems.
Joe is right there.
Oh dear, oh dear. This is just not what you want to see. Not.
Oh, and Sarah went off somewhere, but she's back on track.
No, man, those mediums already aren't looking very good. Well, I ask again, do you pit for dry tires? Now this time in the banks of it drying up, or do you go on to the intermediate tires? Because that looks to be the play right now.
Yeah, it does seem like the intermediates might be the tire to stay on for a little while. It will all depend on how quickly the track will dry out, because it is not raining at the moment. Oh, Bertie braves it out for another lap. I mean, it's definitely a risk staying out on the dry tires, seeing as the track is still not fully ready for those conditions. But I mean, it's so difficult to judge as well. We don't have access to the weather data, but I mean, it's probably worth it to brave it out for now, even if it is riskier.
You know something? We've only completed 15 laps. We still got 20 to go. We're not even halfway through this race, and I feel like we've got 3 races worth of content right here.
Oof, absolutely, it's been a hectic race so far. Autopolis always brings this kind of action, it seems, and it's delivering. And as I'm going through the drivers, I think the water surface indicator is almost at the crossover period. So we might see
Oh, someone's
the
going
dry
around at
tires.
Sarah!
Oh, Sarah, no!
She's
She's
gone
off.
off at 100R, and she's lost 3rd place to Ziggy. Oh, man. You just cannot catch a break around here. You have to be dialed in 110% of the time today.
Definitely, it's a track that requires a lot of precision and concentration to do so. And it's any other factors that might influence the driving conditions can can prove to be quite a stone in the way. But yeah, it's wow. I'm still mesmerized in seeing how many drivers are able to keep it on track even with these conditions without picking up damage.
Well, now that the bar's at or below 1/3, the guys on dry tires are starting to find their rhythm back. So we're going to see Birdie get back up there. He's going to find his pace again. Ziggy's going to be staying
Ziggy's
out.
staying out.
Overtaking Murph on the wet side of the track.
Even Sarah stays out.
I'm a little surprised Sarah's staying out, seeing the state of those tires right now. Those tires don't look very healthy whatsoever.
Surely, at the end of this lap, it might be the time for her to come in.
Watching the battle for 5th right now between Druid and Phil. Phil's been slowly catching the 66 Lexus. I have a feeling that the damage to the left rear wheel of the Lexus is really hindering him, and the loss of the rear downforce on that car with the rear damage probably not making things any easier. Yeah, there goes Phil to the inside. Druid's going to do what he can to hold on. He's not giving it up, but Phil gets the move done anyway.
Yeah, just forcing a Druid onto almost taking the wet line there, and it was the clever decision, taking the inside line, which is the preferred, obviously, plus forcing Druid on the wet line. Just made him grant that move up to P5.
This is still the closest battle on track because of the rain. It spread everybody out. So what was multiple groups of several cars has now turned into a very spread out affair. This would be great conditions for qualifying, but unfortunately, that's not where we're at. As we see, Joe Nesbitt's come in.
Bertie's staying out.
Ooh, so we have a new leader, I believe. It will be the number 81 Mclaren. So nice recovery for Birdie. We're going to see Joe coming off the intermediate tire for dry tires. Question is, which one's he going to go for? Is he going to go for the hards to try going to the end?
Ooh, it could be a possibility, although it might be. It's definitely going to be a challenge. He's on to Winters again.
Oh,
sorry. It's on mediums, my bad.
Monitor's a little slow to update our tire log, so apologies for that. But he is on the mediums. I don't know if the mediums are going to last that long for him. Because
I don't think they will.
GT, as has been noted throughout the season, has been a tire hog.
Oh, rain lights are on again.
Uh-oh. Yep, the rain lights are on, but no wipers as of now. So this might play into the hands of Birdie if it intensified enough. Same goes for Ziggy and possibly Sarah. Yep, the wipers are on.
Oh.
But, doesn't look like it's intense enough yet. But this on-again, off-again rain is really, I think, throwing everybody for a loop. As we see Iceman's overtaken Cypher, who's coming to the pits again. So, it's climbing. It's climbing. We might be getting...
Is this it?
We might be getting intermediate weather again. Maybe not. I think my weather gauge might be playing tricks on me.
I mean, the pit lane is pretty wet. But... Ooh, I don't try. Oh! It's raining more now.
Yep, there it is. Now it's starting to catch back up on the track. Cypher comes out.
Intermediates.
So, the only other car on the inners right now is Damo, and he's been burning them the last couple laps. And here it is. It's back into 1/3. Oh, and Ziggy and Birdie have stayed out. Sarah's going to be the first of the leaders in. Oh, and she's got to navigate the very, very tricky pit entrance. But she will be refueling and putting on wet weather tires. Someone's gone around. One car around.
There's Degen.
It's a little bit of too low-hanging fruit to say when it rains it pours. Oh, there goes Marv!
No!
That is the number 11 backed into the wall.
Oh, Iceman is off.
Oh, man.
He's just back onto the track.
Damo's off!
Damo! Oh my goodness.
It's Groundhog Day.
It's all kicking off.
Again.
Oh, Bertie! Bertie's off!
Oh, he's in the grass, but he keeps it straight. Once again,
Wow.
can't get a breather around here.
You really can't, wow.
Nesbitt's just gone by Cypher. So now the question is, when are the top 5 going to come in? Oh, Sarah came out on dry weather tires. Ooh, interesting.
Interesting. But seeing that, it might have not been a bad decision.
Yeah, because I'm noticing the red lights are off again. So this was just another freak pop-up shower. And it threw everyone for a loop. I think I just saw corner of my eye, Murph went off into the grass. He's alright though, he's still going straight. And you just can't predict anything anymore. You may as well freaking toss a coin, and that's basically going to be the weather.
Absolutely, I mean, I don't know, it has been a bit of a game of patience and perseverance, really, because there were times where you definitely think that everyone should be going into the pits, but staying out, even in conditions that probably weren't as favorable, did end up paying off for a lot of the drivers.
So, this is going to be very, very interesting. Ziggy's on very dead tires. Birdie's on very dead tires. Nesbitt's on fresh tires, though. So, right now, this is very well advantaged to Nesbitt in the 8.4 GT. Murph coming out of the pit lane right now. Off of the hards, onto the mediums.
Mediums.
Tell you what, I think both the 81 and the 873 got to come in soon, though. They both got to come in for fuel.
I
A,
agree.
the tires are dead. B, there's very little fuel in both of those cars.
And as you know, you don't want to run out of tires just before you get into the pits, as we've seen with Phil
Exactly.
in this race.
And that doomed him to outside of the podium for the time being. On top of the damage he's collected in this last little bit here, he's got some damage on the front end when he spun around and hit the wall in the rain outbreak. Both those cars stay out though. Both Birdie and Ziggy stay out.
Lap.
So Birdie's going to lead an extra lap. Damo is in off the medium tire and comes out in traffic on the hard tire. Should be good to the end for him. Cypher is also going to be changing off the intermediate tire. And I believe he is the last one on the wet weather tire. He is. So everyone else from here, after he comes out, will be on the dry tire again.
And it must be added as well, since it has been considered a wet race, the 2 mandatory tire compound rule is completely null and void for this race.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where or what tire Birdie and Ziggy choose to go on. Birdie, I imagine, can go all the way to the end on a set of mediums now, being the tire whisperer that he is. The Alfa Romeo of Ziggy, that's going to be a trickier one, because I think he's also been on the medium tire this whole time. He might be able to go all the way on the mediums, but I think also the wet weather tire kept those tires alive a little longer. As weird as that sounds, and with them spinning, I think the wet weather kind of kept those tires alive by keeping them cool.
Yeah, I agree. it's definitely impressive that they've managed to make these tires last as much. However, Joe, just about to get onto the back of Ziggy for P2.
He is right there in the Nisbet Hollish 4GT.
Bertie stays out again.
So he'll be doing one more lap and no more. Ziggy, I don't think, can do one more. So,
Yeah.
yes, he's coming in. So there'll be 4 Firehawks on that car. No damage. It's still a little wet in the pit lane. But that frees up Joe Nisbet a little bit to hunt down the number 81 McLaren. So we've gone from a slightly soggy start to a little bit of dry battling to a 1 rain spell to it going back to dry, then another rain spell, and now we're back into this pattern. It's made for a very intriguing race so far.
Absolutely. Talk about unpredictability. Wow. I mean, it's just commendable that, and I do salute all of the drivers for being able to stay out in these conditions and keep their cars going, persevering, because it hasn't been easy on them.
Ziggy is out on the medium tire. He will be taking that to the end. So now, we're anticipating the leader, Birdie, coming in the number 81 McLaren. There's no more fuel left after this lap. Not unless if you're running in 6th the whole way in Mix 6. I highly doubt he'll be wanting to do that, because that's not conducive to going fast.
Yeah, he's already losing at least 3 seconds a lap to Joe behind, so I think he really has to pit now, surely.
Yeah, the difference between corded tires and slightly scuffed tires. So, yep, the crew of the 81 is ready. Don't make a mistake now, Birdie. He's in. So, this will probably be... Nisbet's in!
Joe is in!
I know what he's doing, because he doesn't... I think the idea is... change tires now, get out ahead of Birdie, because the tires won't last to the end from here. So this might actually be a stroke of genius here by the number 8 car.
That is actually a very valid point, and it could well be. It's getting that fresher rubber to ease off a bit of the stress he'd have by having to manage those tires until the end. And as you said, Bertie obviously having to refuel a bit more, it's always going to come back behind him.
Would you call this an overcut? Because I think we just got it. He's on the softs!
The softs?
Well, so is Birdie counting on a little bit of extra rain, or does he think he can go 13 laps on the soft tire?
I was going to say it's probably the first option, because even though he is a tire whisperer and he knows how to drive that McLaren to make sure that he makes the most out of the advantage that the car gives him as well in that sense, I don't think he'd be able to make them last that long.
Well, I think he made his tire selection before Nisbet came in, so I don't think he was spooked by the 8 coming in. This is very intriguing. I'm very interested to see how this plays out for the 81 car. Not often we see him gambling like this, though I say that in the Red Bull Ring race earlier in the season. Go watch that video, by the way. He went to the end on 2 sets of softs, while everyone else went on mediums. So maybe this is something of the same vein. He's going fast on this tire, and then when the tire runs out, he comes in again, no fuel, and doesn't lose any time in the pit lane by fueling.
It could be.
Because
I mean, oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Because Drew behind him has worn tires. Obviously,
And
that
damage.
helps by the damage. Hockey's got a little bit of tire degradation. Ziggy, well, it's about even right now, but he's also on the medium tire. So it's hard to gauge what the idea here is on the 81, because it could go any direction at this point. Iceman in 7th. He's done an alright job in that Genesis. It's not been easy today. He was one of the early soft runners, and that didn't really work out for him so much. And he's kind of been wired back here for the time being. Oh, someone's gone around! It's Murph.
It's Murph.
Car in 10th place. This has just not been an easy one for Murph, has it?
No, it really hasn't. I mean, unfortunately, just having these moments, and I think as well, was one of the drivers who pitted the first time we had wet weather coming in, and the track just dried out way too quickly to make those tires work, unfortunately. So I think he's been quite unlucky this race.
Phil's taken over the lead of the race for the time being because of everyone coming in, but you see those tires and the damage on the front end, he's got to be coming in within the next 9 laps, because there's no way for him to stay out on this tire, right?
I mean, it will probably cause him a few issues towards the end, and yeah, I mean, depending on what the gap is to Joe behind, which seems to be around 10 seconds at the moment, I don't know, he might have to consider it.
Yeah, if you stay out, you're going to be out on dead tires to the end, and it's not going to feel good, and Joe's going to sweep by you on track. If you pit, Joe's still going to sweep by you, but it will be in the pit lane rather than on track. You have a chance to catch him back up if you, say, put on the softs and think you can make it 10 laps. Battle for 4th intensifying between Druid and Ziggy. The Alfa Romeo trying to find a way around that Lexus, despite the damage, the Lexus being the big oaf that it is. Not an easy thing to get around today.
Yeah, he's placing the car in the right positions, just making it extremely difficult for Ziggy to overtake. Will he see him? But then again, Ziggy has got the tire advantage, so he'd be looking to overtake Druid as soon as possible.
He had an opportunity at 100R, he didn't take it though. He's going to try in the second hairpin, maybe try either the outside or try a crossover here, but it's not an easy place to get a crossover because of how the hills are crested there. Because the crest of the hill is right at the apex. So it's very hard to steer your car on the inside line after that apex. He's got a nose on the 66ers.
Oh, he's gone for it.
Door up, he's got it! Well, that could have got a lot worse, but hey, if no one went off, I'd take it.
Yeah, I mean, made it work was a very brave move from Ziggy. He managed to make it work, so yeah, this is exactly where I think he would have liked to overtake him, because if he had to stay behind Druid throughout this entire sector, it could have cost him even more time, seeing as how the dirty air would affect him in these corners.
Yeah.
You can see just how much Druid is also struggling due to the worn tires. Ziggy's lap was, well, almost 2 seconds quicker. Almost 3 seconds quicker, sorry. At this point.
So you had it right the first time, it was about 2 seconds quicker. And
apologies, yeah, you're right.
I can't imagine that car's handling very well with the double combo of degraded front tires, which is already a pain in the Lexus, and rear end damage to that left rear wheel. So I don't know, maybe that counteracts it a little bit. That's how he's able to stay out.
Maybe it could be. Sometimes you really find out when you get damaged that the characteristics of the car change, and it might suit your overall driving style and just the conditions that the race is giving you at that specific moment. So you might be quite right in that sense.
Phil still ahead of Nesbitt in the lead, coming to... Here comes Phil. So, yeah, that's probably the right decision. I don't think those tires were going to make it all the way to the end, so he'll do 9 laps on his tire of choice. but that puts the number 8 Ford GT back up front.
Yeah, and if the conditions stay like this, it could also be a good opportunity for him to try and secure that fastest lap of the race.
Birdie comes out in second. Phil's still in the pit lane. I think they're the car. They are. But Ziggy comes out in third place. As a result of this, Druid might reclaim fourth. He does. Phil's going to come out in fifth on the soft tire. But boy, does he have work to do to get back up there. At least on the softs, it'll be a little bit easier for him. But, yeah, 9 laps to get through Druid, Ziggy, and Birdie. That's a bit of a tall order.
It really is, but even with the damage, he was still lapping around their pace, if not quicker at times, so hopefully he'll be able to make the most out of these tires for now. And take on board the fact that it doesn't have damage so far to really be able to get back into the pack and into the mix for possibly a podium finish.
Well, as the number 11 Super comes out of the pit lane once again, a new challenge has befallen our drivers. Nighttime. The lights are on, and it's getting dark, and none further clouds. Wasn't anticipating this race going tonight, I'll be honest with you. But,
I don't think anyone was.
But I'd say that's a good challenge for Road Atlanta ahead, because that one's also going to be a day-to-night race, much like the Petit Le Mans. So may as well get a little bit of nighttime practice while we're at it.
Oh, we were just talking about Phil, and he's already catching up to Druid. He's gained so much time that lap.
152 for Druid. 213 including pit time for Phil. Yeah, that Lexus is... He's probably going to have to come in before the end of the race because of that front left. But an otherwise great result for Druid here, all things considered. With the damage he's got, the spinning in the rain, he's held on to it, he's kept it rolling, and he's kind of punching above his weight class today with this one. Phil right on the back bumper of the Lexus. I'm not sure if Drew's going to make this one that hard, knowing the tire advantage the 44 on, but he places his car where he needs it. That's going to hold up Phil for a little bit. I'm sure Phil's not going to be too appreciative of that, but of course, this is for position, boys. All's fair in love and racing. Going into the second hairpin. Phil trying to get the crossover. Ooh, he's the first one that's been able to nail it. He's on the opposite side of the 66 now. But now the question is, which line do you take going down the hill?
Oh!
A little bit of door contact. A little door contact, but they're still straight. This is probably angering Phil a little more. He gets into the back of the Lexus, gives that rear bumper a boop.
Almost like he's pushing Druid onto the onto this section of the track.
He's probably thinking about a bump and run here, but just letting cooler heads prevail for the time being. He's just trying to find a better way to get around that Lexus without incurring any momentum penalty, but unfortunately, it's just not coming yet. Now it's coming because Druid is coming in.
I was going to add as well, Bertie's tires might not make it to the end, as we were speculating.
So he will have to come in again, but thankfully if he does come in one more time in the next lap or two, it will be tires only. He should be good to go on fuel. So he won't lose as much time. Might lose a position to Ziggy, but I don't think he's going to lose a position to Phil, or definitely not Sarah, because she's just going through turn 1 now. I didn't realize the gap was that far out from 4th to 5th. But yeah, Birdie's in good shape despite the tires falling apart here. You know something else? Birdie's not that far out from Nisbet, so he's made Joe sweat a little bit.
Yeah, he's roughly
Uh-oh.
8 seconds behind him at the moment.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
You know what we were mentioning about the rain?
yeah, I mean... Could this be it?
It's back. It doesn't look like it's leveling the track just yet, but it's back. The lights are on, the wipers are on. Oh, Murph's come in again. Hold on, has he seen the weather change? He has seen the weather change. He's on the...
He's on Inters.
Damo's also coming off the horns. I think he's coming out...
Oh! Bertie hit the pit wall!
Oh no! Birdie! Oh dear, so what was going to be a decent stop of just tires, now you gotta fix the damage on the front end of that car. Birdie's in. Ziggy's in.
Ziggy.
Nesbitt stayed out.
And Phil stayed out as well.
Oh... Goodness gracious.
Damo is out on the full wets.
Oh man. So let's see here. Birdie's on the full wets, but he's got a 3-second time penalty. Ziggy comes out of the pits on intermediates tires. Sarah comes in
Sarah's
from the
in.
mediums. Someone else? No one else is coming in just yet. But
Druid is coming in.
man, I feel bad for Druid because he just got out of the pits. He just pitted a lap ago.
Yeah, unfortunately that's how these races can go at times. Just the timing of your pit stop. Unfortunately, in his case, just proving costly. I must say, I think those in the wet tires, in the full wets, will probably struggle for the first few laps. Might be wearing them out a little bit too much.
Yeah, this is much like how an intermediate tire will burn up in dry weather. The wets will burn up in intermediate weather. And this will be the longest 3 seconds, possibly, of Birdie's season. So now he's going to try staying ahead of Ziggy, who's on the better tire for the time being. Nesbitt stays out on the medium tire, so he doesn't think it's bad enough just yet.
I'm not liking the way that water surface indicator is going up, and he's out on track. He's gonna have to do a full lap of this track, which isn't necessarily a short track. Oh my goodness! No!
I think he was trying to pit, and the car got out from underneath him, and now he's facing backwards on the front straightaway. He didn't hit anything, so good on you, Phil, for not hitting anything there. But this is going to get a lot worse for him. Oh, Birdie!
Oh wow!
that could have been bad. That could have been real bad.
That was a scary, scary moment. And Joe is definitely struggling right now.
Yeah, all he can do right now is just short shift it to the end. Short shift it, don't rev out the car, because that's when the car is going to go around on you.
I think that unfortunately he might be undoing part of the work he did by being the only person to go on the inters on the first stint. Ooh, he's barely kept it on track.
Yeah, it's going to be a chore to keep that 4 GT on that track. It's getting... Though Birdie might not have been so crazy putting on wets, because now it's within its operating window.
Come on, Joe, keep it on track.
Oh, he's
moving. It's gonna be so difficult.
Pedro, he's moving so slow. I can't imagine him being able to make it on the track, keeping the lead before he gets to the pit lane.
Oh wow!
Because Birdie's going down the hill right now, out of the second hairpin.
Goodness.
He's just right. Joe's just riding around in second, hoping for the best. He's also good on. So if there's any silver lining here, it's just that he only has to pit for tires. The problem is, we are now at a point where those tires are going to be next to useless.
Yeah, he definitely won't have to worry about Phil, but Bertie has made up so much time. Oh, yellow flag, Phil! He's off again.
Oh, and I was watching Birdie. Damo spun out in front of Birdie. So now Joe comes in. Birdie in second place. Phil trying to hold on those soft tires. It's not going to happen. He's just got to hold on until he gets to the pit lane. Sarah's on the full wets. This is working Nesbitt changes tires, but I think Bernie is going to be recovering the race lead with 4 laps remaining. He does. Nesbitt comes out of the pit lane.
Just about. He's on Inters.
So he's banking on the Inters being the better tire towards the end. This is the part of the race where things are getting interesting. Sarah's in the wall!
No!
She spun and nosed it in the wall. So even on the wet weather tire, the track conditions are absolutely treacherous.
Oh, she had a moment on the previous
And someone's
corner.
going around in front of the pit lane. It's Phil again! And he's got damage on the nose this time.
No!
And he can't get that car going in a straight line here. So he's losing 4th on track. Gets to the pit lane. Now Phil comes in, but he's lost 5th place now as well to Chaos Druid. Oh, and I just see, coming back to Joe, he had a massive tank slapper. If there's one thing he knows how to do, it's the dirt track. And thankfully, you can use your dirt tracking experience quite nicely in the race. Unfortunately, it's also not conducive to going fast if you use it too much. But this is going to be a 4-lap dash for all these guys. Oh, and the intermediates are struggling on that A car. This is a nightmare for Joe Nesbitt, who was having such a good race to this point, and now has to deal with the intermediate tire on full wet track. Oh man, oh man.
Wow. Phil, what an unlucky lap he had there. I mean, what an unlucky set of laps he had. Because he was looking so good again after recovering from the early damage, I believe. And now he's down into P7.
Yeah, that's been the story of his season so far. Not a lot of luck for right? He's down at 7th. He came out behind Iceman, who tire. Phil on the intermediate, so he's much like Joe in these final 3 laps. He's going to be struggling a bit. This also plays Ziggy back into this, assuming something happens to 2 cars ahead of him. Although, right now, both of them are keeping it pretty planted for the most part. And I think Birdie knows all he needs to do is just keep the car in a straight line at this point. Because he saw Nisbet come out on the intermediate tires. He knows he's not going to have as much grip as Birdie is going to. So, you don't have to push as hard at this point. All you have to do is just keep it in a straight line. I know it's easier said than done in these conditions, especially when it's getting dark out. But that's the task for the 81 car. Just keep it straight, keep it smooth.
Yeah, it's such treacherous conditions, and Bertie having tires a little bit more worn than he would have liked, seeing as he took the risk of going earlier for these tires. It's definitely paying off now, but he still has to keep his full focus to just keep the car on track and pointing the right way.
Tell you what here, battle for 5th is brewing between Druid and Iceman. Iceman's been putting in some solid laps. He's one of the fastest running guys on the wet weather tire.
Again, that Genesis, I drove it in the past, and it's not an easy car to drive in these conditions.
No, it's a very heavy thing. One of my associates stateside calls it Big Bertha for a reason. But that Genesis is having a whale of a time in this wet weather. 2 to go for Bernie and Nesbitt and Ziggy. So, if anyone's going to make a mistake, better not make it now.
Yeah, as I just saw Iceman just sliding through that corner. He's getting closer and closer to Druid.
Oh, he's ready to make the move. Because Druid is absolutely struggling right now on the intermediate tire. The Genesis lays a little bit on the bumper of the 66. He's looking for an opportunity. He might be able to find one if Druid gives him the lane. He doesn't. Iceman thinking better of a bump and run here. At least for now, he gives him another boop. Well, a little sideways on exit there, but I think that Genesis is going to be in for a better time here than that Lexus. Side by side for 5th. Heading into turn 1.
Will be the bravest of the brakes. Ooh. Just keeps it in front. What a move.
Good stuff by the West Virginian. So now, they're looking through the field.
Again, just look at the time he's gained as well at the exit of that corner.
Oh yeah, that Genesis is absolutely on it. And tell you what though, Birdie is pulling a gap on Joe, like how Ice is pulling a gap on Druid. The wet weather tire was the game. And now, he'll be going through the final corner for the penultimate time to take the white flag. 1 lap to go. This has been a very intriguing race, a very topsy-turvy race. Never really knew what to expect. But Birdie recovered well after being in the back early. And he's running P1 right now, barring anything going wrong. It's very easy for something to go wrong at this point in the race with this kind of water on track. But that McLaren, since this rain's come down, has been on rails. Has been holding on to 2nd. Ziggy, I gotta say, this has been a great race for him. He had a great sprint up until the end. And started from pole, had a little bit of difficulties at the start of the race. He's moved himself back up to 3rd. I'm sure he'll be very happy with this result going into Road Atlanta.
Yeah, what a phenomenal race from Ziggy. I think I'd say even what a phenomenal event for Ziggy overall. He's definitely been on it, and even with the struggles he had to endure at the beginning of this feature race, finishing on the podium definitely shows just how persistent he is and how much he can thrive even in circumstances that might be unfavorable for him.
It's always good when you can put a race like that together. Even when things don't go your way, you battle through the adversity, get your result.
Absolutely.
Those are the races you hold on to. But I tell you what, someone who is going to hold on to this race is the driver of that number 81 McLaren. Bertie, big crazy Bertie, Nighthawk's tire whisper. He's been able to make any tire work today. He's made this pit strategy work flawlessly onto the wet weather tire. The conditions have suited that car perfectly the last 5 laps. He goes through the final corner for the final time and takes the checkered flag and wins at Autopolis. An absolutely brilliant race from Birdie. Joe Nesbitt just wasn't meant to be for the win, but I'm sure he'll be happy with the 2nd place finish. And in very treacherous conditions in that Ford GT, especially with the damage. Ziggy, 3rd place. Way to battle through adversity, buddy. He takes home 3rd place. Sarah Hockey now going through the final sector now. Hang on, someone's slow on the front straightaway. It's Damo. He's just letting Cypher go. Hang on, did he just let Cypher go? He let Cypher go for 8th place.
I think so.
That is very interesting. I'm not sure why he did that, because he wasn't out of fuel.
I mean, they could possibly have had some sort of incident prior, and maybe was just trying to let him through. Otherwise, it's a bit difficult to understand why he did it. Sarah crosses the line, P4. What a race for her as well, seeing she had front damage throughout the entirety of the last stint, and yeah, just having to deal with the treacherous conditions during the first part of the race as well, whilst being on dry tires.
Iceman comes
P5.
home with 5th. Yep, a very good result.
Fantastic for him.
Druid, nicely
Druid
done,
P6.
hanging on to P6. And Phil, when's he not going to roll Snake Eyes here?
Well,
He's gone 7th place here. But that, after starting on the softs and leading early, this could have been what changed his season. But just was not meant to be. But overall, wow. what a race this was. As we see Murph still running around on track. This one's not been a great race for him, but he's only fallen one lap down. He will come across the line in P10. Not last. Of course, obviously last of the classified finishers. But we did lose Simon early in the race, and Coach did not finish. Didn't even start the race. Wow.
Wow, that was... There's a lot to unravel here, I feel. Don't think you'll get as many action-packed races as this one.
No, wet weather races in Nighthawk always prove to be barn burners, and this one, no exception. We had no less than 3 separate times where it chucked it down in rain, and then it ends up going back dry. I don't think I've ever seen a race in the span of an hour have this many changes in track conditions.
Yeah, well, and we also had the nighttime at the last stint, which definitely didn't help. But as you say, like, such an unpredictable race could have really gone anyone's way at the beginning, it seemed. And you know, it's just so difficult to make some of these decisions as you go, because obviously you don't want to take any risks, but sometimes taking the risk is the right option. I mean, it's always up to the drivers to try and balance these two aspects, but it's never easy. And I must say congratulations to everyone for finishing this race, because it was very difficult.
Yeah, rain races are never fun. Even Michael Schumacher and Ayrton Senna did not like rain, but when you are on it in the rain, boy, can you not get off of that high. Now the big question is, after all of the chaos, 35 laps of non-stop action, Pedro, who is your driver of the day?
Ooh, I was thinking about it for the last lap or so. It's just, we've had so many good performances. You know, Bertie getting the win in both races, Ziggy picking up 2 podiums in both races, even, you know, Joe picking up 2 very solid results, obviously a podium on the feature and a P4 in the sprint. Oh, I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to give it, not to one driver, but to 2. I think I'm gonna have to give it to Bertie and Ziggy, if I'm honest.
Not a bad shout out to both of them. They both had very excellent races. And you know what? I think I'm going to have to echo that sentiment with you. Joint driver of the day, the Blue Lobby, I think has to go to both Ziggy and Bertie. Both those guys were unbelievably lights out through the whole event. And yeah, it's something that it's very hard to do in this league, but both of them were absolutely lights out today. And with that, it is time to move on to the Red Lobby. So, shall we see how they did?
Let's do it.
And here we are with the Red Lobby qualifying results of Season 5, Round 7 here at Autopolis. So, first up, Dart Lord taking a very impressive P1 with 1 minute 45.6, just holding off Manley in that 458 on 1 minute 46 flat in that P2. Then in P3 we have Katie Nakai on the medium tyres on 1 minute 46.5, so he's looking dangerous already. Then in P4, Kirk in that Genesis 1 minute 46.8 on the soft tyres. Then Fodder on P5 and 1 minute 46.8 on medium tyres. Then Pedro rounding up the top 6 on medium tyres on 1 minute 46.9.
Yep, and then we have Sophia setting her times on the softs with a 147 flat. Maybe a difficult track for that Mercedes. But in P8 we then have Giles, or Giggles as you may know him, on the mediums with 147.1. In P9 we have one half of Nighthawk, Midnight ISO, on the mediums with a 147.2. We then have Sophie in P10 on the mediums with a 147.298. So only a few thousandths away from stealing Midnight's time. In P11 we then have Nigel Mansnell on the mediums with a 148.5. And I don't know if they're forecasting something, but we've got Charlie in P12 setting his time on the intermediates. So must have been a bit of an interesting qualifying session for him. But he sets a time of a 1:51 flat, and then followed by Mercedes in P13, also on the intermediates, setting a time of a 1:51.9.
Well, I gotta say, Sarah, it was actually quite interesting times for Charlie there in Mercedes to set those times on intermediate tyres. I think they were fighting over some sort of tactical advantage there, starting on the back row. Perhaps trying to get a little bit of clear track, but I guess we'll see what happens come the race. But you have to say, out front, Dark Lord looking great, looking fast, as he always does. But you've got to look down to P3 particularly. See Katie the Kai, he's looking threatening on those medium tyres as well. And again, you follow him in 5th, also looking a bit threatening. Those two will definitely be going a lot longer into this race, presuming it stays dry. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting one, Sarah. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you, especially with the top 3. I think Kader the Kai has put himself in a brilliant position starting on the medium tyres. Obviously, if it stays dry at the start, you never know when you're going around Autopolis. But if he can get a good and clean getaway, that will set him up nicely for to go a little bit further into the race compared to Mac and Dark Lord. But I think obviously Kirk and Fodon not being too far behind, they've set themselves up brilliantly for a good race. And I'm not sure, I think, potentially maybe Pedro, Sofia and people going, towards the back end of the grid. It looks like they got caught out in a little bit of, changing weather conditions in that session. So maybe we didn't see, the full potential from, their lap times and stuff, because they probably didn't have enough time with the dry track. But I think all in all should be a good race if drivers can keep the cars on the tracks, because it's Autopolis, there's no barriers to capture, it's all gravel and grass, so drivers are going to have to fight their cars a little bit to stay on track.
Quite agreeing with you there, Sarah. And with that in mind, I think we should get over to the race and see what the drivers get up to in the feature race.
Right, so here at a very soggy Autopolis, at round 7 here at the red lobby, we're waiting for the lights to go out. They've just about gone out. Fodder getting a good start in that Porsche, which is quite rare, although he's already getting jumped by Sofia, and Pedro is alongside him at the moment. Dark Lord and Katie the Kai are our previous season champions. Oh, Kirk coming in like a I don't know what to call him. He completely went into the back of Dark Lord there, but actually all 3 of them making it through turn 1, which is very lucky. Dark Lord getting an early lead here on Katie the Kai. Kirk not giving up yet. He's trying to get round Katie the Kai here. He's swinging out on the outside here. Sophia looking to get in on the action as well. But very hectic getaway already, Sicily.
Yeah, this is a very chaotic start up front. Dark Lord has managed to get himself a good gap, thankfully for him. Unfortunately for Kirk, his life's not gone any easier. After that little turn 1 incident, no damage, but he's had Katie the Kai stay ahead of him. He's had Sophia get by him. And as we see, Giles, almighty send! He managed to get it wound up in time, though. But, God. We see him get on the brakes quite heavy, and you almost get a little nervous. You almost stamp on the left foot instinctively to make sure that car stops.
Yeah, especially in these conditions as well. We can see that meter on the left-hand side creeping up ever so slightly. It's not quite a wet race just yet, and I've noticed quite a lot of drivers starting on the slick tyres instead of the intermediates. So it looks like it's stopped raining now. So maybe it was just a little bit of a soggy start, and it's going to dry out for the drivers. But yeah, the first couple of laps not easy for these drivers. Already a challenge that they have to overcome. Midnight slightly out of position here at the minute, P8, following Pedro, who's currently just in front of him, P7, and looks like we're going to have a little bit of a battle for P2. Sophia is tucked up behind that GTR at the minute of Katie the Kai. A big swing to the left by Sophia there, trying to cut back on Katie the Kai. Ooh, the two getting very sideways coming out of turn 1, but still in their respective positions. Kirk seeing this go on in P4 at the minute. He's staying well clear. He wants the 2 in front of him to make a little bit of a mistake, but Katie the Kai still in P2. Kirk trying to get on the inside of Sophia here, but yeah, it's still heating up in the front of the grid, but having a little bit further back. Charlie is on the back of Nigel Mansell here, but Mercedes going for the hard tyres again here, Italy.
Yeah, it's a little bit of an unusual decision, but at the same time, we had a little bit of time in the blue lobby before the rain came in the feature race. Perhaps he's thinking there might be a little more time, and he can milk that hard tire to the very end. It's a very interesting strategy when everyone's on mediums and softs. But it's a gamble. That's what these races are. Every single time, they're gambles. And it's no different today from the blue lobby and the red lobby so far. It started the same way with the same level of water on the track. Not enough to get the intermediate tire out there. And everyone just hangs tight on the dry tire. Sophia wearing out the back bumper of that GTR already. Katie the Kai's not giving this up, despite being the points leader. And usually when you're the points leader, you want to play it a little more safely so you don't put the car in the fence. He's still fighting as aggressively as he can possibly be to hold on to the second place. Sophia looks to the inside of Katie the Kai's GTR, and finally she gets the move done.
Yeah, waiting her time there, but gets the move done on lap 3. I could imagine Dark Lord is probably smiling ear to ear at the moment, being in that P1 position. He's got himself a little bit of a gap to Sophia, but Sophia likes these conditions. She likes the conditions where she's driving on the dry tyres in wet conditions, or slippery conditions, shall we call it, at the moment. So I could imagine she's going to be on the bumper of Dark Lord in the next couple of laps or so. But yeah, Katie the Kai, going back to what you said about him, I love that, you know, he doesn't give up, he's aggressive, even he doesn't have to be, he's got quite a healthy gap in the championship at the moment, but that's a true champion's drive. He always fights for those positions. Sometimes they're aggressive, but that's sometimes what you need to do to get through the pack, especially in those sprint races. But the feature races, he always pulls out quite a good performance. But having a little bit of look further back, Fodder in that P6 is trying to eye up a move on Giles here in that Lamborghini. Talking about Lamborghinis, Pedro also in that P7. He's got himself a nice healthy gap between Midnight and Fodder at the moment. And Sophie's just tucked up behind Midnight at the minute. Everyone else is, well, actually saying that, Charlie's getting very close to Nigel here. Nigel having a little bit of a better start to the feature race than what he did in the sprint race, Sidley.
Yeah, it was a difficult start to the weekend for Charlie. It's not quite the easiest right now, but he's just kind of slotted himself in right now. That's kind of what you need to do in this kind of race, especially when you know rain's going to be coming sooner. So, basically just hold the car onto the grain. That's it. You can, obviously you want to go a little faster. You want to still be pushing, but you don't want to push too hard as to send that car into the tire barrier into several hundred pieces and a lot of work for the mechanics in your pit. As we see, he was looking to the inside of Charlotte. Nigel there. Oh, he hit him!
Oh.
He just hit him. No damage. And no position change, but I don't know if Charlie just was caught out by Nigel's braking point there?
Maybe, or Charlie maybe pushing it a little bit now that water meter on the left-hand side has gone to a complete dry. Maybe he was trying to test how late he could brake, but Nigel didn't quite get that message. He was braking where he was the lap before. But yeah, Charlie trying to be late on the brakes here. Let's see if he tries to go for a late braking move. He tried to look for a gap there before better of at the hairpin. You don't want to go for a dive bomb there and catch the driver out in front of you. But yeah, I can see Charlie maybe eyeing up a move in the next couple of corners, maybe on the start of the next lap. He's testing those brakes. He's braking a lot later than Nigel here, so maybe it's got to that crossover point where Charlie's starting to feel a little bit more confident behind that BMW.
Yeah, and Charlie is one of the more aggressive guys when it comes to trying to make overtakes happen. He's been one of those guys that doesn't like to get stuck behind anyone else if he's faster than them. And if he feels he's faster than you, he will try getting around. And I'm expecting no different here at that number 46 right now, behind Nigel. He just set his personal best at 148.8. versus Nigel's 49.3. He knows he's faster than that Ferrari. He's looking to the inside of that Ferrari, but he's got his nose there, but he doesn't have enough. Nigel keeps the spot.
So Nigel was quite clever there. He came into the apex, but he gave enough room for Charlie, and he, also was trying to assert a little bit of dominance there. It's like, I'm not going to let you overtake me easily. You're going to have to work for it, and Charlie is definitely trying to work for it here. But I think I can see Nigel on the defensive here, Charlie going for a little bit of a wider line into this next section here. Will we see Charlie go for that late braking move into the upcoming hairpin? Or it looks like Nigel couldn't quite get to the apex there in that corner. He was going in a little bit wide. Charlie got the better exit. He's carrying the momentum into this hairpin coming up. He goes to the inside line, switch to the outside line. Oh, a little bit of glitching between the two drivers here. A little bit maybe of a connection error at the moment. It looks like Charlie lost out in that little bit of a technical whatever went on.
It's always scary when a car's jumping around. Then, oh hey, he's in my engine.
Yeah.
It's never a fun feeling. I've not been the guy who's done the glitching, and I hope I never do, because that honestly is one of the most terrifying things in Gran Turismo, is having a iffy connection moment and you're battling someone, because you don't know whether or not you're gonna put them in the wall or not. Speaking of battles right now, though, Katie the Kai alongside Sophia for second place. He wants that second place back for the 420 Mercedes. Into turn one, side by side. Sophia's on the brakes later. Not the right idea, though, this time. Katie the Kai retakes the position.
I don't know about you, but I can see this probably being a battle that's going to carry on throughout the duration of the race. I think it's going to be kind of going to and from between the two. They're going to overtake each other countless amount of times. As we see Fodder also going for an overtake on the outside of Giles there. Not one that we've seen very often around this track. So nice brave move from Fodder there. Pedro's also trying to eye up a move on his Lamborghini counterpart. Going on the inside here, trying to get the power down nice and early. But Giles is currently holding that P6 position at the moment. Going a little bit
Pedro
wide
got a good run here. He had a good exit from 100R, and he's looking right now, possibly at getting at the number 99 Lamborghini. These two, no strangers to battling here, and a little close again. I think we might see a little bit of resumption of such relations. Giles still holds on, though. And interestingly enough, he's got better tires than Pedro does. The fronts on the 77 are wearing a lot heavier than the 99s.
Yeah, Pedro pushing it on the front of that Lamborghini at the moment. Maybe Giles knows that he might be in a little bit of a better position tyre-wise here. And also, I don't think he wants to lose too much to this battle out in front, as it looks like Fodder has just about caught Kirk in this lap here.
420 crew's ready. So sorry to interrupt you. Sophia's coming in. Dark Lord came in. The soft tires are done.
Yeah, Kirk also follows those two in as well, which allows Fodder to be free. Giles is really caught up on the back of that Porsche 911 in the start of this 7th lap.
I wonder if Fodder got caught out by Kirk's intention to pit, and that's why Giles is caught right back up to him. Because Fodder had made up ground on that group, but now he's right back in it. Giles looking, thought about it. Probably a good thing that he didn't go through with that, because that would have wrecked the 23.
Yeah, and I think
it's
Fodder would have had something to say.
It is a 5-car battle now for second place, because you got Fodder, Giles, Pedro, Midnight, and Sophie. All these guys on the medium tire. I will say, though, Giles has taken much better care of them than anyone else in that group. Oh, Sophie sending it on Midnight! But Midnight gets the crossover! Wow, that's a nice little bit of racecraft there.
That was pretty good from Midnight there. I think he kind of knew that Sophie may have potentially outbroke herself just a little bit, and he was keeping calm and cool under the pressure, and managed to get that switcheroo back. And looks like Giles was trying to go on the inside there. A little bit of a late move, but Fodder caps him off just at the apex. Giles is now tucked up underneath that wing of the Porsche 911, and we missed it off broadcast, but Charlie did overtake Nigel in the last few laps. Nigel still pretty much glued to the back of that BMW at the moment, but talking about being glued, Pedro is now glued to the side of that Lamborghini of Giles. Giles and Fodder got a little bit leery on the exit there of the final corner. Pedro getting a little bit better momentum, and it looks like he's gapped Midnight a little bit here. These three potentially getting very, very close into turn one. Giles looked like he nearly hit the bumper of that Porsche 911. Pedro getting a better exit out of turn one. He's going for it. He's going on the inside here of the turn two and turn three. Pedro looks like he's braking late. Giles late on the brakes by Giles. He's still side by side with Pedro here into this few corners coming up. It's too close between these two Lamborghinis here.
Pedro's got him cleared, so that's third place for the Portuguese driver. Midnight trying to go to the outside of Giles. Not enough room to make that one happen. That opens him up back to a possible attack from Sophie. But I'd say well done to Pedro, taking advantage of Giles' braking misstep, trying to get around Fada. And look at this, Midnight now to the inside of Giles at the second hairpin. That kind of angle of attack's usually not a good one. Thankfully, these guys have enough wit about them to keep themselves from crashing into each other.
Yeah, that was a narrow line by both Midnight and Giles there. I think Giles was trying to throw Midnight off there, and Sophie nearly capitalising on the both there, going very, very narrow. She took the wider line, able to get the better exit, and she's kept herself in this fight here. We're just having a little bit of a look further back into the grid. Obviously, Mercedes being on the hards has been overtaken by Dark Lord, who was the first of the pit stops. But Kirk, in the pit stops, has been able to jump Sophia, so maybe a little bit of less fuel taken on by Kirk, and managed to get in front of Sophia. They're battling out for currently P11, but obviously these two have pitted. Not what you want to see when you're battling for a net lead. The two of Kirk and Sophia having a little bit of an off-track excursion there, a little bit of door banging, and I think Sophia will definitely have a few words to say to Kirk after the race. But these two have raced each other quite a lot, so they're used to being quite aggressive with each other. So I'm sure that fight's not over just yet. But I think Katie Kai will be very happy about that Sophia's lost a little bit of time to him. He can maybe breathe a little bit, but not too much, because Fodder's only a couple of corners behind him.
Yeah. It's still very early stages of this race. You still have to have a little bit of patience before you start battling someone like that. They were on lap 8 when that happened. You've only completed 7 laps. You got 5 times. You still got like 4/5 of this race left. As we see Giles making a mighty send on Pedro. Well, you kind of saw that one coming. Giles trying to make a send on Pedro. Finally makes one stick. Pedro trying to look on the outside. Not enough room to make something happen, but I think Pedro's got a little bit of a better exit. But the problem is this part of the track you can't really formulate a run on.
Yeah,
you have to be really good to make a move in this section here.
Yeah, I don't think the nature of the track is not very inviting for overtakes in these few corners that we're going through now. And I think a lot of drivers are aware of that. Giles almost turns into a train there. He gets on the rails, on the curbs, can't get off, goes in a straight line, but manages to keep hold of that car. I think it was a miracle, because it looked like he was going straight on, but Pedro sees that, he goes to the outside, tries to get a little bit of a better line going into this corner coming up. Giles goes to the inside line. Will he sweep it in front? He does. He goes right in front of Pedro, brakes late. Luckily, Pedro knew that move was coming, brakes a little bit earlier, and the two go on to lap number 10 with Midnight very, very close behind him. And I think Midnight will potentially try and get 2 positions in one here. He's biding his time currently, as he knows obviously Fodder being a few positions in front. That's who he's battling in the championship at the moment.
Yeah. As I said earlier, we're still very early in this race. You got to have some patience here. These two not showing a lot of patience with each other. Granted, I know these guys want to be the best of the Lamborghini drivers today. I feel like that's always your target when you have someone else racing your car. Is you want to be the better of the cars that are in the race. So So, like with Giles and Pedro, you want to be the best Huracan in the field. But, man, these guys, throughout the season, have been, when these guys are near each other, these guys go at it. We saw this at Red Bull Ring a few races ago, where they also were going at it. Oh, Giles is in the wall! And that is the front clip of that Lamborghini demolished. And he's got right front damage to boot. And I think, yeah, that's Dark Lord right behind him. And he's going to make very swift work of that Lamborghini.
Yeah, very unfortunate there for Giles. Katie Dekai coming into the pits now on lap 10. There's some drops of rain in the pit lane.
It's raining. We might see more cars come in. Fonda's coming in. Pedro's coming in. Midnight's coming in. Sophie's coming in. Charlie's coming in. Dark Lord's coming in. Giles, everyone's coming in.
Nigel's coming in. Will Mercedes? Yep, Mercedes coming in as well.
Mercedes is coming in. And I think we're going to see Kirk.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, you stayed out!
Sophia
Kirk and Sophia stay out. So we got 10 cars in the pit lane.
Now, it's either brave or a little bit silly that only 2 drivers have stayed out. Will it pay out in their favour? We'll have to see. Katie Dekai has just come out of the pits now. He's not actually that far behind those 2. So, I don't know about those 2.
Nigel's haste has gone the better of him. He's got 3 seconds for crossing the pit entry line. He came out 4th. Came out 2nd of the cars in the pit that pitted. And now he's going to lose 3 seconds for it.
Sophia going wide, Kirk going wide too. They are crawling around the track. Kirk has lost it.
Kirk's around.
Ooh, nearly collects Sophia. Thank God for the ghosting there, because Sophia, I think you could see the whites of her eyes as Kirk's car went facing the wrong way.
And he's around again. There he goes.
Oh.
The dry tire is not the move.
No,
so everyone was smart to come in.
Yeah, Kirk.
He's right in front of. Oh, that's a sketchy point to be Kirk, because he almost swiped the front end off Fonda's car.
Yeah, as we see Pedro also coming around the corner, trying to go for a move. Yeah, he gets that move done and dusted. Does Pedro going into the hairpin? Kirk, can barely get the car stopped going into the hairpin. Lets Charlie through as well. He's going to drop quite a few positions, and I think he'll
Sophia's to the gravel. She's going off into the gravel, just aquaplane straight off down the hill. And she's lost a couple positions to Nigel and Midnight, and soon will be Fonda.
Well, I think that answered our question as to whether it was brave or a little bit of a silly judgment. Unfortunately, obviously, those 2 getting caught out in the rain quite badly. So, Fonda going round. Sophia nearly losing it on the curbs there. Drifting around Autopolis at the moment, only a few corners towards the pit lane. But it's that thing now. Is it gonna stay like this? Is it gonna get dry? Is it worth staying on those tyres? I think they're gonna lose too much time if they stay on the dry tyres now.
Yeah, you're pretty well screwed right now if you stay on the dry tires. But we see Sophia staying out. We see Kirk stay out. Yes, we saw a little bit of this in the blue lobby too, where it seems like the dry tire's not the way to go. But in the next 2-3 laps, the pendulum swings right back to the guys on the dry tires.
Yeah, we could see a repeat of that, although at the moment everyone on either the intermediates or the wets, they do look a bit more comfortable driving around the track than what Sophia and Kirk do. So obviously it's that time loss. Obviously Kirk and Sophia are losing quite a lot of time.
Oh, you say that. I think I'm seeing a drier line pop up already. And Sophia is back in her element.
Yeah, saying that.
Of course, she's just got to be careful where she puts that car.
Yeah, Kirk as well, not too far off the back of Mercedes, and Giles is about a corner in front of him, although he is tiptoeing around the upcoming corners here. So yeah, if he can keep it on the track and not in the grass, and keep with at least the pack in front of him, we could see a little bit of a resurgence from Kirk and Sophia coming up. Like you say, the weather around here just can't make its mind up today.
Absolutely not. Sophia down the inside of Dark Lord for 8th place. So that tells you where the tires are right now. A little bit of contact with the number 6 McLaren. Side by side with the defending champion she is. There's a little bit of door bashing. But otherwise, all clean. So I don't think this battle's quite over. especially if it dries up a little next lap. And it seems like that Mercedes is back into a comfortable position here. So I have a feeling we'll be seeing Sophia battling these guys soon. And if it does dry up, which I believe it is, because of the wear rate on these guys' tires, these guys are going to be coming in soon. Midnight with a very daring overtake in turn 1 on Nigel.
Yeah, around the
Brilliant
outside.
stuff. Someone's just come in.
We've not seen
3
many
cars are in.
overtakes.
Dark Lord, Giles, and Mercedes are in. So they're going back to the dry tire.
Yeah, very, very brave. Dark Lord picking up a little bit of fuel as well. Obviously that pit exit is going to be mighty wet at the moment, so tiptoeing out of the pit exit is the Dark Lord, as we see Sophia going around the outside of Sophie there, a little bit of door banging between the two there, but nothing too bad. But Kirk obviously still running in P9 at the moment on those dry tyres. He's starting to pick up the pace again here, so like I say, you could see a resurgence in his performance. And like you say, obviously it's gotten to that crossover point. You can see on the water meter on the left hand side, it's gone under that third, so it's yeah, it's going to start getting dry. But obviously that now it's been over a third, it's technically a wet race, so the drivers don't have to worry about using two compounds of tyres unless they really want to. So we could see quite some quite aggressive strategies coming up in the next part of the race.
We're probably going to see some out-of-the-box strategies. I will say, Giles picked himself up 3 seconds, and he's not having a good time right now. He's knocked over all of the brake markers into the hairpin.
I'm sure
good luck to everyone who uses them.
I was going to say, I'm sure a few of the drivers are going to be like, where did my brake marker go? When they come up to that part.
Fada went wide out of the final corner. I think he just caught a bit of the grass and it just hooked him into the grass. Thankfully, he's all right. We're seeing Charlie come in off the tire now as well, as is Sophie. So we got 2 more cars switching back to the dry tire.
I don't know about you, Nigel currently is having an amazing race at the moment. He's keeping Midnight honest here, who's just in front of him. He came into the pits around the same time as the guys, not picking up a lot of fuel compared to the drivers around him, which put him in this P3 position at the moment. Obviously, if he can keep with Midnight and the likes of that around him, this could set him up well for the next stint. But saying that, Fodder is about a corner behind, and we've got Pedro. And Sophia arrives on the scene. She takes that inside line, tries to get the move done on Pedro here. Pedro going a little bit of off-roading there in that Lamborghini. It is four-wheel drive, but not quite like that, Pedro. But he remains
this
on track.
Huracan is not a Storado. This is a GT car. So, gonna find a lot more difficulty in trying to do some dirting.
Especially in that white livery car as well. You don't want to dirty up the livery too much.
Exactly.
But, exactly. But he's currently in P6, a good position. Kirk is in P7 on the charge at the moment, trying to get a move done on Pedro as well. Obviously, Pedro coming into the pits with the other guys, going on to the intermediate tyres that you can see have already pretty much burned about halfway through. So we're going to see that
or
turnover.
Or in Katie Takai's case, he's burnt through about 3/4 of his tyre. We are seeing him in this time. So the 181, the points leader, is in. And I have a feeling he won't be the only one coming in. Midnight thought about it. Fada will come in. And I believe Pedro will too. Oh, pit! Fada just crashed! Oh, he's very lucky because he didn't get any damage out of it. Oh, you are a lucky boy, Fada. You are a lucky boy for that one.
I'm sure I'll be very thankful for that he didn't get any damage.
Very rare do you hit something into that pit lane and not get damage out of it. So Pedro comes out of the pit lane in 11th. Fada came out in 7th, right behind Charlie. So now the only cars left on the intermediates are Midnight and Nigel. Nigel's got Sophia for company, and she's already got by him. So that did not take very long. Oh, Nigel, hang on to it. Nigel, hang on to it!
Whoa.
That car was a little sideways. That was sideways for a little too long, I think.
Yeah, I think Nigel was definitely definitely clenching there to keep that car on track. But he does so. He's currently still in P3. But I don't know about you, Sophia. Looks like she's going to eye up a move for that P1. She gets it done, and it makes it look pretty easy there. Obviously, Midnight struggling on the intermediate tyres. Nigel starting to struggle as well, as we see Kirk going round as well. So maybe I was wrong to doubt Kirk and Sophia when the rain came down, as they seem to be ramping it up again. And you know, Kirk currently fighting to get onto that podium. Oh, Nigel!
Oh, Nigel!
Drifting around that corner, well held.
Nigel, I know we're in Japan, but this isn't a Formula Drift event.
we'll give him some style points.
Agreed on that. Style points on top of that very stylish livery of his. Oh, I think he just copped himself 3 seconds on this pit entry here.
Oof.
But he will be getting off the intermediate tire. Midnight will go one more on it. And I don't think that's the right idea, unless he sees something radar that would indicate that he can stay out one more on this tire, go back onto the inners, and be good to go. But I just don't see that.
Yeah, interesting call by Midnight there. But like I say, maybe potentially seeing something that we haven't, or maybe just feels a little bit more confident on those intermediate tyres at the moment. Nigel comes out of the pits in P11.
I was right. 3-second penalty over the head of Nigel. Second time today. Crossing that pit line. Autopolis' pit entry is very, very tricky. A little out of the way. It's very out of the way when you're at speed going through that final corner. Because the end of that... Someone catch your eye?
Kirk went for a move on the inside of Midnight there, but Katie Dekai also wanted to try and copy Kirk and go on the inside, taps Midnight's rear quarter panel and nearly sends Midnight facing the wrong way. But Katie Dekai now getting that move done on Midnight. Obviously Midnight struggling on those intermediate tyres, basically nearly on the canvas. But yeah, Katie Dekai did slow up a little bit, and basically I think he wanted to wait to see if Midnight was facing the right way, which he was. But it was good of Katie Dekai to obviously make sure that Midnight didn't face the wrong way. But unfortunately that now does drop Midnight off of the podium. But Cade Dekai, he obviously has lost a little bit of time staying on those intermediates a little bit longer, but he's already on the back of Kirk here.
Yeah, clearly not enough time, because he's still very much a threat here. He's getting closer and closer to the back end of that Genesis. The rain lights come back on. I just saw that. I think the rain light on the Genesis just came back on. The rain light on the BMW just kicked on. So some cars' rain lights are coming back on. So we might be getting rain soon.
Yeah, the Porsche rain light is on as well. No wiper action as yet. Maybe we're getting some light drizzle at the moment. But yeah, I think a lot of drivers that have just come into the pits will be thinking, why weather gods?
Well, Midnight just came back out on a set of inners. So
like he
I was right.
Saw something.
I guess I've got access to his pit wall. I figured that's the move he was planning on making by staying out that extra lap. Now the issue is, until that rain comes, he's going to be burning those tires to a crisp.
Yeah, obviously he's got to be careful not to burn them too much if that rain is coming in. But currently making Kirk's life probably a little bit more difficult is Katie Dekai. He's putting Kirk under a lot of pressure here, especially into these upcoming corners.
Oh, this is going to be a really ballsy place to make an overtake, Kai. Side by side still, there's a little bit of door bashing. No! That might be one to look at later.
Yeah, I think the stewards were definitely wanting to be having a little look at that. It did look like it got quite close between the two drivers there, and like you say, a little bit of door banging between the two. Not what you want to see from that result of that battle, because it looked like it was heating up quite a bit. But it looks like Katie Dekai or Kirk potentially a little bit sorry.
No, he's letting him by.
Yeah, good by Kirk there. I think that was the right decision. Katie Dekai, a little
bit of a thank you from Kai.
The wipers. They're going.
The wipers are on. The water is starting to stack. So now, How long before it gets worse?
Obviously, the likes of Sophia and Kirk yet to pit. Everyone else has already come in for a pit stop already. Will this put Kirk and Sophia under a little bit more pressure, or is it just another shower that's going to hit the track and then dry up again? We shall see. But currently, Sophia, quite a demanding lead at the moment. She's a few corners ahead of Katie the Kai. And she'll be the first to kind of brunt this this weather front as it is. It's got bad quite quickly.
It's pelting it down now. So this will be right back into midnight zone here. He's been in last place, burning his tires off a little bit. Now he's gonna be in that sweet spot where the intermediates are gonna start hooking up. But you gotta hope if you're on the dry tire, it doesn't get any worse than this, because we saw earlier that guys were spinning out by this point in the run because the water got so bad.
Yeah, so. I think at the moment everyone seems, touch wood, to be facing the right way, which I'm sure they'll be very happy about. But there's some battles emerging between Mercedes, Dark Lord, Nigel and Pedro. That pack seems to be quite glued together at the moment. But it's going to get to that point where drivers are going to be tiptoeing around, not trying to touch the curbs too much, because the curbs around here, one wrong move and you're into the grass. As it looks like Mercedes goes a little bit wide, opens the door for Nigel. Nigel trying to follow Mercedes through, tries to get the cut back here, but tucks in behind that Nissan GTR's rear wing at the moment.
The rain has stopped, so everyone on the dry tires could breathe a sigh of relief. Unfortunately, the one person that can't is Kirk. He is low on fuel, and he'll have to come in soon to get more fuel. So I think he would have. Honestly, I think he would have preferred if it pelted it down, because if it pelted it down, he'd have been able to get a free pit stop out of it.
Yeah, I'm intrigued to see if he goes for another set of mediums, or potentially maybe goes onto the intermediates here. I reckon he's going to go onto the mediums. Like you say, the rain has died down a little bit. It's still raining a little bit, but not as high as intensity as what we saw a minute ago. But I don't know about you as well. Midnight hasn't made any kind of inroads on anyone yet on those intermediate tyres, so it's that weird crossover period at the moment where it could potentially step into intermediates, but everyone seems quite comfortable at the moment on their dry tyres. Maybe
he's been losing time every lap he's been out there. So
Nigel going for a very brave move on the outside of Dark Lord and gets it done. We've not seen that this race here. Going for an outside move on that section.
Of all people, the defending champion, Dark Lord.
How? Everyone can appreciate how hard it is to overtake and to fight the Dark Lord, and Nigel was like, "Yeah, I'm going for it." Fully, applaud for Nigel there, getting that move done and dusted, and I'm sure he'll be very, very happy about that.
Tell you what, though, Kirk's somehow still out there with very little fuel. Sophia's doing a lot better on fuel. I think she'll be able to make those tires last to the end of the stint here. But yeah, Kirk's gonna have his hands full to get that car back to the pit lane without running out of gas, I think, while still maintaining some speed on Charlie.
He'll be pushing that car into the pits in a second, or maybe asking Charlie, "Can you give me a little push?" We might see the recovery truck of Charlie help Kirk out, but yeah, interesting one from Kirk there, leaving it a little bit later. But he's put himself in a really good position here in P3. He's got a little bit of time to Charlie, not much, but enough. And just behind Charlie, we've got Fodder as well. Fodder having a bit of a quiet race so far, but that's sometimes what you need in these treacherous conditions.
Yep. If you have a quiet race, just log the laps, the race is going to come to you. That's exactly the kind of strategy I think. Just don't do anything stupid. Just log as many laps as you can. If you don't need to fight somebody, don't bother. And I think he's got that message with Charlie right now. And I will say, Midnight's come out of the pit lane on dry tires. He's come out on the soft. So I don't think he's banking on rain coming back at some point, the next 5 to 7 laps. Kirk is finally coming in. And he'll get some new fuel and a nice set of boots as well.
Ooh. A little bit of a tap from Giles to Mercedes there, but Mercedes manages to keep that GTR facing forwards. It's always hard to say Mercedes in a GTR. Maybe one day we'll see Mercedes in an actual Mercedes. We'll
it's
see.
not confusing at all, I promise.
Yeah, no, I'll get used to it one day. But Giles goes for a very late braking move into turn 1 on Mercedes, but doesn't get it done. Mercedes gets the switcheroo done and dusted.
Mercedes very much baited Giles on that move. He knew Giles was going to send that. So he let Giles have that inside line, but he knew he'd compromise himself doing it. And the GTR stays ahead of the number 99 Lamborghini.
Going back to Midnight's choice of tyres, obviously he's currently in P12. Being on the softs, obviously we've got about 14 laps left to go. Oh, we've seen Charlie outbrake himself a little bit into that hairpin. But could those tyres last 15 laps, or is Midnight potentially looking a little bit further ahead on that weather radar? Is there going to be another downpour before the end of the race?
I can guarantee you that this is a look into the radar and hoping for rain. Because we've seen the guys who started on the softs, they pitted after 5-6 laps. That tire's not going to last very long. So, Midnight's idea is when it rains and comes down again, he'll be able to take advantage of that with a free pit stop and get himself back in this thing.
Oh, Giles opens the door for himself on Mercedes here, and a little bit of door banging. Goes, oh, go on Mercedes, move out of the way a little bit here, and manages to get that move done and dusted before the start of the new lap. I'm sure Mercedes won't let that move slide a little bit. He'll try and fight back for that P9 position. But yeah, going back to what you're saying about Midnight, he's going to hope and pray that the rain comes pouring down very shortly. If not, I think he'll be moaning a little bit about the race. Normally he's quite obviously good on tyres. The rain obviously not in his favour earlier, but it's so hard to predict in these sort of conditions if the dryers are going to, give you any sort of traction coming out of the corners. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't, as by what we saw earlier, by nearly half the grid, if not all of the grid spinning and coming into the pits. But definitely makes our job a lot harder trying to predict everything, but also quite funny at the same time.
Battle for the lead is intensifying between Sophia and Kai. Sophia, I think, has been fuel saving, and I think this is the last lap she'll be doing. But the question is, will she let Kai go, or will she hold him up as long as she possibly can to make his life a little hard by the time he has to come in again?
She's lucky that she's only got a few corners to go, because that fuel does not look good.
No, it does not. You are running on the fuel. Actually, I'm not even sure if you're running on the fumes. You're running on the vapor.
Talking about another little battle as well, we've got Fodder, who's currently trying to battle Charlie for that last spot on the podium. Charlie looks like he's secured it at the moment, but Fodder putting him under some pressure here. Charlie going a little bit wide into the last corner. Fodder getting a good exit. Is able to put the power down a little bit earlier. Oh, Charlie nearly touching the grass a little bit there. But Sophia into the pits. She comes in. Definitely needed to come in. I couldn't see her going for another lap. But let's see what tyre she goes on. Has she gone the same idea as Midnight? Will she? Is she trying to look a little bit further ahead? It has got a little bit foggy around the track at the moment. So is that a sign of some wet weather coming in?
I'm not sure. Because I'm starting to see some blue sky starting to poke out to the left of Fada here. But at the same time, that might also be a little mirage for myself, because we saw a little bit of tricky conditions in the blue lobby race here as well, where it would go from dry to wet, back to dry, back to wet. I'm not sure where this one's going to take us with 13 laps to go.
Yeah, and obviously, like the blue race, the drivers are going to have to tackle going from daytime to nighttime as well, having to adjust to the different light coming in very shortly. But hopefully the track won't be foggy as well, because that will be another challenge for the drivers to cope with. Oh, looks like Pedro is currently unsettled in that Lamborghini a little bit, trying to maybe force Darklord into a bit of a mistake there. Coming out of the hairpin, both look a little bit sideways, but they get on the power nice and early, and looks like Giles is just kind of overseeing the two in front of him at the moment, having a little battle. Oh, Pedro trying to see if he can go through Darklord here. Oh, Darklord, Jesus Christ.
Whoa!
Oh.
Big slide for the number 6 McLaren.
He's
Tell you what,
definitely making Pedro work for this position at the moment.
Yeah, but he's having to work himself as well, trying to defend it. Because Pedro, I think, is not only trying to just get by Darklord, I think he's trying to get away from Giles as well, because he knows Giles is not nearly as forgiving as he is when trying to go on the offensive. As we see, Nigel's come in from the softs, no fuel.
Yeah, cutting it very fine, or cutting it perfect. Oh, Giles going
inside,
on the inside.
3 wide. Oh, man. It might be a double Lamborghini overtake on Darklord. It is. Pedro gets the move done on Giles. But now what's Giles going to do to Pedro? He's going to dive to the inside again. Thinks a little better of it on the apex, though. That's going to hurt his momentum quite a bit.
Yeah, good reactions on the brakes there, though, because I thought Pedro was going to have that Lamborghini in the side of him there.
Oh!
Getting a little bit loose on the exit there. Darklord trying to get that P6 back off of Giles. Getting on quite a lot on the curb there, trying to get a little bit of power down. But Mercedes has seen that this fight is brewing. He's getting a little bit closer to the fight. He's overseeing it at the moment. Not in the fight, but Pedro currently leading these 3 cars for that P5 position. But I'm sure Pedro will be very happy that he managed to get that move done and dusted into turn 1. It's released him a little bit.
Yep, and meanwhile, Fada's still not gone away from Charlie whatsoever.
And we've seen a little bit of an off-track excursion for Sophie in that Audi R8, potentially struggling for a little bit of grip coming around the final couple of corners.
Yeah, her rear tires have seen better days. They're worse shape than Fada's, and the 911 is a bit of a tire eater. So that tells you how hard that platform of the R8 and Huracan can be to drive. Fada tried looking. He's got the crossover on Charlie. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to complete it just yet, but he's got the nose ahead of that BMW. Side by side into turn 3. And I think Fada has just completed it.
Yeah, nice and smooth of a move there from Fada there. Gets it done, like you say, makes the cutback work, and Charlie has to take that P3 position for now. But both obviously trying to probably look after their tyres at this point during the race as well. But yeah, good move.
I'm not sure there's much. Not sure there's much tire left to look after on Charlie's left front there. Get there. That is a very destroyed left front on that number 46 BMW.
Yeah, it's not seen the best of days there, and I'm sure Charlie is fighting that BMW at the moment. Potentially, we could see him maybe go on the softs in the next couple of laps and try and get back onto the podium. He's got quite a healthy gap to Sophie in the R8 at the moment. She's just about coming around this downhill section, so he could probably do it now and maybe come in the pits, maybe take on a little bit of fuel, not too much, and then keep that P3 position. But we'll see what he gets up to. The gap between P5, P6 and P7 has opened up quite a lot. Maybe a potential bit of a rare mistake from Darklord in the last lap that we didn't quite capture. But also Kirk as well. Unfortunate, obviously, after that pit stop, he was running quite high. He's in P10 at the moment, with Midnight in P11 and Nigel in P12. So the big winners from earlier are holding out the back of the grid at the moment. But obviously Midnight on the softs as well. We'll have to see him come into the pits very, very soon. Charlie comes into the pits.
2 more laps. Give Midnight 2 more laps max. That 666 McLaren, it's just not gone his way today. As we see Charlie, he did come in. Tires done. He's filling up to the end of the race. We'll see what tire he puts on. I believe it's another set of mediums here. It is, so he will go to the end on this tire. That is assuming we don't get any additional rain. We saw this in the blue feature with about 5 to go. It got really bad, and the guys who pitted for the intermediate tire heavily advantaged.
Yeah, and that was about 4 or 5 laps to go to the end. So maybe there's a last-minute surprise for the drivers in store. We'll see if that weather front decides to come in again or not. Maybe it decides it's going to stay dry to the end of the race. Maybe let the drivers relax a bit. I mean, I don't see that happening. These drivers never relax, especially these guys. They're always pushing it to the limits. As we see Katie Dekai, again, another commanding lead, even after the adversities of earlier on when he lost the lead to Sophia briefly. He's got back into his favourite position and, storming away with it at the moment.
Well, of course, he, Fada, Sophie have to make another pit stop. I imagine Pedro and Giles also have to make another stop soon. Actually, I think just about everyone but Sophia maybe has to, from 1st to 8th, has to make at least one more stop. Charlie is good to go. He doesn't have to make any more stops. Kirk, it's questionable. He might be able to do it. Midnight's definitely going to have to pit one more time. Nigel's good to go. The point I'm trying to make is a lot of these guys are going to have to make one more stop, so I wouldn't say this order is set in stone just yet. As we see, Giles does come in off the medium tire. See what tire he puts on. Once he gets out of the pit lane here, he's feeling up a bit.
Midnight's coming into the pits now too.
Whew. He played with fire there on those barriers. It looked
like a hop, skip and a jump into the pit lane there over the curbs as well.
The rain lights aren't on these cars, so it doesn't look like rain's coming, at least for now. And it started settling down as a result of some of these cars taking their green flag stops. It's pretty spread out between 1st and 3rd right now. About half a sector at least between Kai and Sophie. What's happened?
Mercedes getting all 4 wheels onto the grass and allows Sophia past. But I don't think Mercedes was quite ready to go on the grass there, nearly letting the car go into the barriers. I think that's it. We're not used to coming around to tracks like this where the grass is... Normally, we're quite confined tracks with the walls, especially Tokyo, the previous race. The drivers had to be careful of the walls either side. This track, obviously, the drivers are having to be very careful of the grass because I think the grass is worse than the wall. Because as soon as you get on, there's no controlling these cars at all, and you end up in the wall anyways. So it's good to see the drivers, even when they're getting on the grass, being able to control the cars. I know I can't for sure.
Yeah, and especially with this track has had a reputation since its addition to Gran Turismo Sport of having one of the more slippier surfaces. As we see, Mercedes will be coming in this time for fuel and tires. It'll be his last scheduled stop. This track is very much one you really don't want to make a mistake on because the lack of grip around here is going to bite you. It's almost like the place is made of concrete, even though we can clearly see it's paved. It's sort of got a Dover Speedway kind of thing to it, where, oh, Kirk is in the grass! Hold on to it, he does. But I was saying, this place seems to have a similar reputation to Dover. As soon as you lose it, it's going to be very hard to regain control of it.
As we see Mercedes just come out of the pits just in front of Midnight there. And it'd be interesting to see what tyres Midnight did decide to go on to.
He went on the softs again.
The softs again?
So he might be seeing rain again. He's just trying to go for fastest lap and steal it from Dark Lord. He's already got a purple sector 1. So maybe that's what he was shooting for here?
Potentially, or maybe a slight miscalculation on his strategy. With those intermediates maybe burning out a little bit more than what he expected earlier. obviously forcing that double soft stop a little bit probably earlier than what he wanted to. But I mean, you know, I think this race, especially with the unpredictable weather, it's just so hard to, you know, pre-plan a strategy going in. So I'm sure Midnight's all learning on the fly there, and Mercedes nearly facing the 90 degrees the wrong way, but holds on to that GTR. A little bit of a wiggle as he gets the traction down again. But it's getting to that point where it is getting dark. You can see the lights are on for most of the drivers. Kirk looking like he's going to eye up a move on Giles in the next lap or so. We've got Sophie in the pits. Fodder's just come out of the pits.
Yep, Fodder comes out on the medium tire. He'll be going to the end on that. Sophie will be coming out to the end, coming out now on the medium tire to the end. And Giles will look to the inside of that 714 Audi. Contact, a little bit of donut on the left side of that 99.
Yeah, Sophie's come right out in between Giles and Kirk here, who are just about to get into a battle of their own. So she's placed
Yellow flag is
herself...
out.
Oh, Fodder!
And it's Fodder! He's hit a specific point in the wall where only the right rear wheel that's damaged.
Yeah, very specific damage there. We don't see that very often. Normally it's a front bumper, a rear bumper, but yeah, that wheel obviously took a little bit of a battering.
Oh, that's gonna really badly affect how that Porsche RSR drive. Man, and he was doing such a good job too to the. But I think what he's going to be doing, assuming this race doesn't go to wet again, I think he's just going to stay out and try doing what he can. There's still a few cars ahead of him that need a pit, including the leader, Katie the Kai.
Yeah, if I was Katie the Kai, I wouldn't really want to come into the pits. He's so far ahead of everyone else at the moment. Pedro's coming into the pits now. So Katie the Kai, obviously, I think he can maybe potentially get out in front of Sophia here if he pits within the next couple of laps or so. But again, saying that, Sophia, she's quick. She's putting her foot down as much as she can. Dark Roll's not too far away from her either.
And she was about 3 seconds a lap quicker on this last lap than Kai. So, a little bit of a tall order this time, I think. The good news is you'll only have to fuel up for 5 laps worth. Now here's an interesting thing I've just noticed. The starting to stay out on this tire.
Pedro onto wet tyres.
Whoa. Now that is a choice when we don't even have to... Oh, the rain lights are on.
The rain lights are on. Charlie's on intermediates as well. Porsche Fodder going through on Charlie. Looking to try and...
Mercedes is coming in. He might be coming on with a tire. Oh, this is playing out nicely for Kai now, hasn't it? If the rain is coming... If the rain is coming, that's going to be big. The rain is here. I'm seeing the wipers.
Yep.
And now we see Kai in the pit lane. So now, moment of truth. What's the plan?
I don't know about you, but that weather came at the perfect time for Katie the Kai there. It kind of hit when he was coming halfway around the track, so he didn't have too much, obviously, track to challenge with. He's changing his tyres now. We'll see what tyres he comes out in just a second. Sophia is a few corners away. Obviously, Katie the Kai won't have to put up in too much fuel. Sophia comes around. Is she going to pit? No, she's staying out. Katie the Kai looks like he's coming out of the pits. He gets out in front of Sophia on intermediates.
So, he did have the gap, and here comes the rain. And this might make things a lot harder for the guys still on. Oh! Giles just hit the pit wall hard. He spun into it.
Yeah, I caught the back end of that. It didn't look very nice.
No, that's going to cost him extra time to Sophie repairing that damage. Kirk is in. Fada is in. Pedro stays out. He's on the full wets. Mansell stays out on the... I said Mansell. Mansnail stays out. Charlie is on the inners. Nigel's on the medium tire, so he's toughing it out, same as Sophia is, and I don't know how bad this rain's going to get. And this is the same point in the blue race where the rain came.
Sophie
Yeah,
and Giles collectively both got 3-second penalties as well.
Oh man. Well, I did see both of them tried entering the pits rather late, so I could see how they got that.
Yeah, poor Giles though, unfortunately, obviously crashing into the pit lane and then picking up a 3-second penalty as well. The stewards have not been kind to him in that pit entry. But Katie the Kite coming around the corner, looking a little bit sideways. This is where we're going to see Sophia excel again in the next couple of corners. Although saying that, she's turning the car pretty slowly.
Yeah, the dry tires are not where you want to be right now. These tires are not it. And look at this. Pedro leads this group of Charlie and Nigel. Nigel's off into the grass. He keeps it going, but yeah, everyone on the...
Nigel!
Oh no, he's gone off and spun!
He's quite far into the grass as well. He's getting.
Well, at least he hasn't hit anything. But
True.
Sophia's come in.
Oh,
Sophia's
Nigel,
come in.
again.
Oh no! Yeah, the dry tire. You gotta get off of them now. That is for everyone else still on the dry tire. You gotta get off of them ASAP.
Yeah.
Sophia is
Nigel.
on the intermediate tire. Katie the guy, all he has to do is just keep this thing on the gray. He's got plenty of gap. Dark Lord comes out in 3rd place. He'll come out ahead of Pedro. Pedro's on the full wet, so this tire is starting to look a little comfortable right now.
I was going to say, obviously, Pedro making that a very bold decision to go onto those wet tyres where everyone else...
And Nigel's gone around again.
Oh, no,
He is
Nigel.
not having fun.
You've got to
He
feel
is
for him,
not having
obviously.
fun.
He tried to hold on for as long as he could. And
Just one lap too many.
Yeah. Fortunately, that's sometimes all it takes, being on the wrong tyre for just that one lap. But
He's holding it in the upper gears to make sure this thing doesn't torque itself into a spin.
Yeah, come on, Nigel, get into the pits. There you go. Oh, just about it gets it round, very close to the wall. We'll see him go probably onto the wet tyres, maybe the intermediates. Got 3 laps left to go. But we've got a little bit
Right
of
now,
battle
it's a fight
Charlie.
between Pedro and Charlie for 4th place. And I mean a fight. These guys are going at it in the rain. Oh, Pedro's so much later on the brakes.
I was gonna say that he's got full confidence in those wet tyres. He left it quite late to brake, and it's a good move by Pedro there. Very, very brave on the brakes, but maybe made the right decision going onto those full wets.
We saw Birdie do that as well in the blue lobby. So we might see Pedro make another spot on Dark Lord if Dark Lord's not careful here. Next 3 laps.
Question:
Because
has
that Lambo
Sophia
is looking very comfy.
come into the pits yet, or is she still battling it out?
She
On
did
the
come into the
drive
pit lane,
lane.
and she is
Yep.
on a fresh set of intermediate.
Oh!
Oh! God, how did she save that?
I have no idea.
What a save by the driver. 20 Mercedes and Dark Lord.
Oh,
Hey.
all of the drivers.
Everyone's cutting that little curb there, and it's knocking their car sideways.
Yeah, I mean, it looks pretty cool, but it also looks like, I don't know, it set my nerves off seeing my car jump over that last corner like that. But most of the drivers getting around there and surviving. We've got Kurt coming into the pits now. He didn't look like he needed any fuel or tyres, so maybe.
No, but I think he wants to be sure. We switch it to the wets, I believe.
Yeah.
But I just.
Maybe a bit too late of a decision there. We've only 2 laps to go. He's not going to quite get the full potential out of those wet tyres, I fear.
No, he's. You could still run the intermediate tire in these conditions as well. So not like he heavily outmatched. You could get away with running the inters. It won't be as fast, but you can still get away with it without crashing. So I don't know. It's a weird one to me.
Yeah, a bit of an interesting one, but yeah, currently in P11 for Kirk. I fear that he will regret that late pit stop for the wet tyres, but maybe, obviously some drivers, being in these sort of conditions, you just need to have the confidence in your car, knowing that it's going to put the traction down when you want it. So maybe Kirk, last minute decision onto the wets, but he's just behind Mercedes at the moment. Midnight in that P9. I can only imagine this will probably be a race that Midnight will want to forget, especially obviously the maybe pitted once more than what he had to. But that is the luck of the draw sometimes.
This one's not been his race. The sooner he sees that checkered, and the sooner he loads back into the hauler. Oh, Giles hard on the wall! Oh
Yeah,
dear.
nearly avoided the wall, but unfortunately the back of that Lamborghini just catching that barrier as he comes around the last couple of corners.
Yeah, the back end of that Lamborghini was a little too long what he wanted. So, now the question is, does he stay out? Yeah, he'll stay out and tough this thing. Oh, Fada!
Oh!
Oh, that was a big off, and he never repaired his damage. So, I guess he doesn't think that damage is all that bad. But meanwhile, we're within 2 to go. Pedro slowly catching Dark Lord. This will be a battle to watch here. Same goes for Charlie versus Sophie. 5th. Oh, Dark Lord. Really sideways. I did say you can get away with driving the intermediate. It might not be the most fun experience in the world, but you can get away with it.
Saying that, Pedro is looking a bit twitchy on the wets as well.
Someone's got around. It's Nigel. Nigel's crashed.
Oh, Nigel.
Another one. Ooh, and Pedro again late on the brakes, but Dark Lord covered his line. But look at this. Pedro's gonna try the cross in the wet of all things. I've never seen anyone try this at here. Actually, I take that back. I think someone did try it in the
still
blue
hanging
feature.
on the outside.
Oh, there's still contact. Ah.
He didn't lose too much time, but I'm sure Pedro will be maybe saying some choice words to Dark Lord at the moment, not giving him enough room.
I think he's using the bumper to send that message. Katie the guy has crossed the line to go. I must say, for Katie the Kai, it's been an absolutely barnstorming race for him.
Yes,
he got ahead of Sophia early and hasn't looked back.
Yeah, it's another testament to how great of a driver he is, even though he's been challenged with these different weather conditions. Oh, Dark Lord getting very sideways coming out that final corner again. Yeah, Dark Lord, whatever challenge you throw at him, he just seems to overcome it. And oh, Dark Lord, massive weaves on the straight.
That was more than one.
Yeah,
it looks like more than one there.
Trying to maybe throw Pedro off here. Pedro not phased at all. He's all he can see is that gap trying to get in front of Dark Lord here. Dark Lord's not going to make it easy, like you said earlier. He knows how to defend. He's gone to that inside line. Pedro trying his best to get alongside into the next corner. Has to hold back a little bit. He's on the curbs. He's using full curbs here as Pedro on those wet tyres. Trying to maybe potentially force Dark Lord into a mistake.
Bit of a boop. He's trying to move him off the line now. Nothing's working yet.
The two of them looking quite twitchy in this section here.
They're giving it their all here right now. Look at this. Dark Lord's so loose. Now, will Pedro? He's got one more shot at this in the second hairpin here. Will he use the late brakes? No. He's just gonna bide his time a little bit. Just a little bit longer. As we see one car stopped. It's Kirk, stopped before the start-finish line. So he's just waiting for this thing to be over.
He doesn't want to go for another lap.
No, he wants this thing over. And that's going to mess up the leaders. But Katie the Kai will take the checkered flag and win at Autopolis. Sophia will... Oh, someone's had a... It's Giles. Giles has had a massive spin down the hill. And look at this. We're still not done for third place. Sophia will come home second. That's very guaranteed. Now, the question is, will Dark Lord hang on over Pedro? Down the inside, he doesn't get it. Yellow flags are out. Yellow flags are out. Even if Pedro to make that take, he couldn't.
Yeah.
So Kirk's shenanigans might have cost Pedro a shot at the podium. Sophie will come across the line third. Dark Lord third. Charlie will come home sixth. Votto will come home seventh. Oh boy.
Midnight
And
coming
for some
around
of
the
these,
final corner.
yep. For some of these guys, the torment is finally over. Midnight, his race did not go his way whatsoever. And look at this, Mercedes is still trying to fight off Giles, but because of that yellow flag, you just can't overtake without getting penalized for it. Mercedes 9th, Giles 10th. A little sour way to end it, but an otherwise brilliant race.
Yeah. It's, again, another hectic race for all of the drivers. I'm sure they'll be very thankful it's over, especially a few of them that were challenged quite a few times. But I've got to give it to Katie Vikai, another outstanding win. And we've got two previous Nighthawk champions on the podium with Dark Lord and Katie Vikai. And I've got to say Pedro as well. Pretty good race. I reckon maybe if that yellow flag wasn't there, or maybe just one more lap, he would have potentially got Dark Lord, as he looked like he was a bit more comfortable in those weather conditions. But all out, good but interesting race.
Yeah, and just as chaotic as the blue feature race here. Can't say Autopolis doesn't deliver.
I'm sure drivers will be wanting to see the back of Autopolis for a while, especially after what they've had to endure today. But we all have a little bit of wet weather racing from time to time. But we just kind of wish that the weather gods made their mind up and it didn't keep swapping from dry to wet.
Yeah, it wasn't quite as chaotic as the blue race, thankfully, them, because well, if it was, it would have been a lot worse. This would have been a little bit crazier.
Yeah, I mean, I've got to give it to all of the drivers today across both lobbies, to be fair, because those driving conditions aren't the easiest, especially obviously when it gets into the dark as well. So a lot of challenges that they had to face, and for the majority of them, I think they can be proud of what they've achieved. It's definitely not easy, and around a track like this as well, where one small mistake, you've got a lot of grass and a lot of gravel to collect you, not necessarily the walls. So yeah, difficult track, difficult conditions, but I think drivers should be very proud of themselves. Obviously that then moves us on to the hardest decision of all, is picking a driver of the day. Who would be yours?
It's got to be Katie the guy. He was flawless in the feature race, just about, and he kept it together. He made it. He made it work so well. He had a pit stop over Sophia. You know how hard it is to do in Nighthawk to have a pit stop over somebody for the lead?
Yeah, he just makes it look easy as well. Just something about Katie Dekai's driving just makes it look easy. But I've got to agree with you there. I think obviously Katie Dekai is a pretty good shout. I'd like to maybe see Pedro maybe joint driver of the day. He got a P2 in the sprint and then P4 in the feature. Both obviously very difficult driving conditions. I think he was aggressive when he needed to. He made some bold strategy calls with those wet tyres at the end, but they seem to pay off. And I think he can walk away from Autopolis being quite happy after a podium and a P4. Puts him in a good position as well in the championship, fighting around with the people around him. So yeah, I'd say Katie Dekai or Pedro for me.
And I think that will do it for broadcast from Autopolis today. Thank you, everyone. Been fun. Thank you, Sarah, for joining me today. And
Thank you for
we
having
roll
me.
on to Michelin Raceway Road Atlanta, home of the Petit Le Mans. For our next race, always an interesting one. Until then, see you later.
Wow, what can I say about this? So, Autopolis, a hateful track for me. I really do not like this track at all. With some random special weather conditions, making it a little bit more spicy than I was thinking and expecting for. Anywho, it was quite fun, I might say. I need to be fair. I felt really comfortable with the with this bundle between the C4, which is not a great car, and I really do not enjoy driving it, although I'm getting better at it, and this track that I really do not like at all. But in the end, I can't complain. I mean, a P2 on the sprint race, and I lost that race on the first corner of the last lap due to stupidity of me, a childish error in terms of driving. I knew that the track was not under perfect conditions, and still I did that rubbish, stupid, silly, ziggy stuff. Well, all normal then. And the future, I had a not very good start. I lost a few positions. I was sitting pole, and I lost like 3 or 4 positions on the first 2 or 3 laps. I never felt comfortable on the first stint. Then, you know, that light drizzle come up suddenly, and I decided to stay out on the mediums just to see how could I push and extend the stint, waiting for, you know, the drivers in front and behind might go to a pit stop, because I knew through the radar that it's going to be a very short rain period at the time, so I risked it. Then the race started to be more on my way. I mean, I started to feel good on track, starting to feel good with the car as well, more confident. So I think I picked up a little bit more the pace and managed to keep distance for the guys behind and to not lose too much time for the guys ahead. Then another episode of rain, and I blew it. I mean, I went off 2 times when all the drivers around me went off just once. So it made me lost time that I never managed to get back. And my P3 was really because Phil was struggling a lot with the softs when that poor rain just blew out of the skies and dropped down for that last 5-6 laps. So I would never, on normal conditions, I would never be P3. So I'm happy with the global results for this double race with the sprint and the feature. I can't complain, especially on a track that I really do not adore. I really do not feel comfortable driving at it, but I'm quite happy with the result, especially because I had a very good race on Tokyo on the last round, on the previous round. Although I did P6 with so many mistakes through that race, but I was really happy with the pace, with the raw pace I had. So I think I'm in a good mood, which is cool for the rest of the season. So who knows? Maybe good stuff ahead.
I think with my new setup and the luck of the weather, I managed just to be on the right tires at the right time and got lucky with a few drivers struggling with the conditions. Happy to get the double win. It was a good couple of races.
just slow. Turbo speed was still the show. Nighthawk racing, feel the burn around each turn. Victories earned, passing rivals, nothing's assumed. On the track we are consumed. Adrenaline rush, heartbeats race. The thrill of speed taking place. Defend the lead, it's not a chase. Gran Turismo sets a pace. Under moonlit skies we soar. Every pass makes spirits roar. Defending honor, never bored. Speeding kings on asphalt floors. Through the stadiums we fly by. Cheering crowds lighting the sky. Nighthawk warriors reaching high. No defeat will dignify. Nighthawk racing, feel the burn around each turn. Victories earned, passing rivals, nothing's assumed. On the track we are consumed.